Tes. Halo. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Oke, karena tadi udah janji siang kita mau live stream lanjut questnya Tante Yelan. Dan satu lagi, karena tadi setelah gue dengerin stream yang tadi pagi itu ternyata suaranya bocor ya, alias menggema. Jadi terpaksa gue pakai earphone biar suaranya lebih bagus. Bagus lah ya. Mending lebih baik dari yang tadi pagi kan? Ya enggak? Oke. Bentar, gue sambil makan kalau berisik. I'm so sorry. Berisik ya? Enak banget pisang goreng. Oh, ada event baru. Oh, event itu bukan sih yang kayak Osu, bikin map Osu. Ayo sambil makan lapar.
There are leaves around, and I know just the tune to accompany them, if you wish to hear it.
ASMR, enak gak? Mana kita ke questnya si Onti Yelan. Salah, buka. Enak banget sumpah. Oh, belum penuh. Seperti biasa, buka tutup earphone soalnya gatel. Kayak emang kayak harus ke dokter THT deh gue. Tuh, langsung mulai. Apa nih?
Traveler, Paimon, it's been a long time.
Oh,
Siapa
hey,
ya?
Hoishin. Long time
Sekretaris
no
ya?
see. Fancy meeting you here. How's work these days?
Thanks to the help of people like you and colleagues like Ganyu, better all the time. But I've been feeling distracted at work lately. I just feel constantly agitated.
Kenapa?
It's a long story. But my father, he's thinking of stepping down from the Tianshu position due to health issues.
Huh? What's wrong with Uncle Tian?
Nothing specifically. He's not unwell. He says he's just increasingly low on energy these days. He's always said, old age comes for us all in the end. Still, I just can't help but feel a little emotional watching it happen to him. Anyway, my father's currently on the second floor of Yangsheng Tea House. Why don't you come pay him a visit with me? He seems very fond of you, too. I'm sure chatting with you will make him very happy.
Sure, let's go.
Pemilihan cising. Ningguang mau pensiun. Loh, bisa masuk kah? Di mana sih? Di atas. Oh, bisa naik. Gue kira bisa masuk ke ruangannya sekarang. Ini kan si sombong, yang punya toko sombong.
Uncle Tian, we're here to chat with you.
Oh? What a lovely surprise. Welcome. Hoishin, why don't you go downstairs and get the shopkeeper to make us a fresh pot of tea? I heard that you've been traveling all over the place recently. I would very much like to hear your adventure stories. Hoishin told you, didn't she? Don't worry, I'm quite all right. It's just the years gradually catching up with me. As I grow older, I'm starting to find that with many things, though the mind is willing, the flesh is weak. Especially recently, I've noticed a rather drastic drop in my energy levels. I am still very much in good standing as the Tianshu today. Nevertheless, I wish to pass on the position before my mental acuity begins to decline beyond redemption.
How difficult is it to transfer the Tianshu position?
Oh, well, you see, the Tianshu is a rather unique position among the Liyue Qixing. Historically speaking, the Tianshu rarely appears in public. We stay behind the scenes, planning and giving advice, so a public selection process would not be suitable. We also want to keep any prospective Tianshu candidates free from influence by outside forces, so we tend to be as discreet as possible in their assessment and appointment. For these reasons, the incumbent Tianshu typically recommends their candidate of choice, and this is then approved by the other Qixing members.
So in other words, you pick someone, and then Lady Keqing, Lady Ningguang, and the other Qixing appoint them?
Correct. Unfortunately, due to my health, I won't be able to assess every candidate myself. Not to despair, however, because I found someone exceptionally capable to act on my behalf as assessment
Kok Paman
officer.
Tian tahu kita udah kenal
In
Yelan?
fact,
Sumpah ini
I
scripted
believe
banget.
you recently
Nah, iya,
became
emang
acquainted
scripted.
with her yourself.
Emang scripted sih.
Who is it?
Well, anyway.
I'm heartbroken. I thought it might take you a little longer than this to forget all about me.
Oh ya maaf, terus singgung amat Yelan.
It's Yelan!
Jackpot. Uncle Tian here asked me to assess 3 candidates for him. Fancy joining me? You'll be among the first to get to know the next Tianshu. Might be a good opportunity for you.
What do you think?
Kalau gue balas ini apa? Tidak.
Makes sense. After all, whoever the next Tianshu is, it doesn't really make any
Biasanya
difference
Paimon
to
ngelawan.
us. Still, Paimon's really curious to see which candidates Uncle Tian picked, so let's go take a look.
All right then. Though, I gotta say, Uncle Tian, you say you're into behind-the-scenes planning? My work's of the covert variety, too. Don't you think I might make a good Tianshu?
Huh? Yelan, you want to be the next Tianshu?
I'm not opposed to the idea, but I suspect Ningguang wouldn't let you go very easily after how long you've been working together. So, how about this? If your investigation reveals that none of the other candidates are qualified for the position, I'll recommend you for the job.
Deal. Well, you guys take your time. Everything's all set for the assessments to go ahead. Meet me on the first floor when you're ready. Until then, have a pleasant conversation. Oh, and no need to pay for your tea. As the new owner of this fine establishment, this runs on the house.
Really? Yang punya kan yang orangnya
You're all
sombong
set?
belagu itu kan? Apakah Yelan termasuk keluarganya mereka?
Uncle Tian seems really worn down. It's like all his energy's gone.
Kayak nggak setua itu.
Yeah, it may sound harsh, but Uncle Tian is past his prime. He's not cut out for this anymore. So he's recommended 3 candidates. Their names are Qinwei, Mingbo, and Zhi. Qinwei is a wealthy entrepreneur. Mingbo works at the Liyue Ministry of Civil Affairs, and Zhi is focused on study and travel. Try to keep all that in mind. Of course, it doesn't really matter if you forget, since we'll be assessing them at Yuehai Pavilion in a short while.
Qianwei, Mingbo, Gee, Paimon should be able to remember their names, but what does the assessment involve exactly?
Let's leave that until we get to Yuehai Pavilion. All right. Heads in the game, people. The stakes don't get much higher than a change in the Qixing. We can't afford to miss anything, no matter how small.
Got it. We'll keep our eyes wide open.
Ya harusnya tadi pakai teleport aja. Udah.
It's a peaceful neighborhood.
My legs are getting sore. What is wrong with this assessment officer? This is a huge occasion and I don't even get a chair. I've dealt with all kinds of people in my time, but never have I been made to stand while I'm waiting for an appointment.
Oh, I mean, I think it's fine.
That's called being complacent. If you're happy to just accept the way things are, you'll never be able to change anything in the future.
Oh, come on. That's just... Now you're just being unreasonable.
All right, you two. Let's not get into a big argument over this. It's not worth it. Qianwei, that was a bit uncalled for, and Mingbo, cut him some slack. We've all been standing around for a while. It's natural to be getting irritable. Look, how about this? There's no rule saying we're obliged to stand up while we wait, so why don't we borrow some chairs from the guild nearby?
Fine. They're not the best quality chairs, to be sure. But under the circumstances, it would be better than nothing.
It looks like all 3 candidates have arrived. We'll meet them formally soon. Before that, let me run you through the assessment process. I've split it into 2 stages: current affairs and planning, and face-to-face interview. In the first stage, candidates are required to submit a manifesto for Liyue's development. In the second stage, we will ask them some questions in person. Writing a manifesto takes time, so I informed them of this requirement in advance. These are the reports they submitted.
Wow, one of them is really thick.
It's also worth mentioning a stipulation I gave them. Whoever is appointed as the new Tianshu will be expected to implement their plan as put forward in their manifesto. Failing the occurrence of some cataclysmic event, they will not be permitted to change their plan. Therefore, these 3 piles of documents in front of us represent where each candidate stands on key policy issues. There's still some time. Have a skim through, get a first impression of what each person's proposing. I'll be waiting off to the side. Just let me know when you're done.
Am I gonna make it? Am I gonna make it? Oh, punya Yi yang paling gede. Yang Yi yang tadi protes ya? Coba. Ya, Chianti. Ya.
Finished, huh? What did you think?
Everyone took it very seriously.
Of course they did. They have the chance to be picked as the new Tianshu, so you can bet they're putting their best foot forward. And keep in mind, whoever gets in has to execute their plan as written. Nobody wants to have any regrets. That's for me to know and you to find out. We can talk more after the interviews. We'll see the candidates now. Let's do one at a time. Start with Chenwei.
Yes, ma'am.
Oh? So you two are the assessment officers, are you? I had assumed that given the great import of this situation, Lady Ningguang would perhaps be assessing us in person. I certainly hadn't imagined I'd be seeing two entirely unfamiliar faces. I trust you've read through my manifesto? I'd be more than happy to clarify any details you found difficult to grasp. It was written with an expert audience in mind, after all.
Mind your tone, mister.
Relax. It wasn't intended as a personal slight against anyone in particular. I was simply stating a fact. Cloud Retainer? You know this Adeptus? Oh, yes, I remember now. You must be the traveler that people are constantly talking about. With your sterling reputation, you must have a respectable level of erudition. Perhaps you will be able to understand the concepts I have put forward.
Belagu banget sumpah lu
although
kan
I shouldn't get my hopes up.
kandidat tuh baik-baikin apa sih jurinya.
Oh, is it my turn?
Yes. Please introduce yourself.
I'm, Mingbo. I work in the Ministry of Civil Affairs. I've worked there for, 9 years, 5 months, and 3 days. In that time, I've handled, 2,347 cases. I have 12 active cases at the moment. They should be concluded in, 16 days? My current work is related to urban planning, and I'm also responsible for, auditing the accounts. To be more precise, there are 3 parts to the accounts, namely...
Is it just Paimon, or is he not very good at public speaking?
You know what? Let's leave the self-introduction there and move on to some questions.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hello. Not gonna lie, I'm feeling a little nervous. What would you like to know? You're here to assess me, so ask away and I'll answer your questions to the best of my ability.
Your manifesto is very wide in its scope, but you don't seem to be personally involved in many of the specific fields. How can you be sure that you have the ability to put your plan into action?
Very fair question. I completely understand where you're coming from. But I'm confident in my plan. I've visited many different places, talked to lots of people with far more expertise than myself, and my manifesto is the conclusion of these efforts. Of course, 2 different problems can be interconnected in very complicated ways, and you might reach 2 very contradictory conclusions depending on which one you're focusing on. What I've tried to do is strike a balance. In other words, present an optimal solution to all the problems as a whole.
How do you plan to determine whether you are right or wrong about your proposed solution being the optimal one?
A great question. Well, I'd start by having my colleagues and the secretaries of the Yuehai Pavilion evaluate any proposals before implementation. Post-implementation, it would all come down to the results. If it turned out that my judgment was to blame for poor results, I would take responsibility.
Nice answer. All right, next question.
He seems like a great guy. Everything he said was thoughtful and logical, and he was just a pleasure to listen to.
Here's my take on what we just learned. As you saw, Chenwei is highly knowledgeable. He proposes many excellent ideas in his manifesto which effectively target the big issues. But he is very proud and incredibly stubborn. He doesn't care much about other people's feelings. Mingbo's plan is more thorough and more measured. You can tell he's meticulous in his work, very detail-oriented. But he and Chenwei are otherwise polar opposites. Mingbo is not very articulate and comes across as very timid in conversation.
Perfect summary. Paimon couldn't agree more. You're good at this, Yelan.
Last but not least, Jur-E. His manifesto is full of pertinent details, his methodology is sound, and his proposals cover a broad range of fields, which is quite a rare feat. The
Oh,
depth he goes into in each and every area means it can only be a product of painstaking work. Plus, he is modest and good at dealing with people. But what really interests me is that many of his views happen to coincide with Uncle Tien's. Having someone like Yi take the position would certainly put Uncle Tien's mind at rest.
Great!
bagus dong. Oke,
Let's go back and report to Uncle Tien.
mantap. Mari kita nilai. Kemana nih? Shum, shing, shing. Kenapa nggak teleport ya? Kok udah 2 kali kejadian, nggak kapok. Oh, nggak usah. Lebih enak terbang. Hehe. Batuk. Minum
I
Pak
see.
Aci.
Then it's more or less as I anticipated.
All right, then let me ask this. The ideas in Yi's manifesto are very similar to your own. Is there any particular reason behind this?
Oh, I didn't want to say anything when I gave you the list of candidates, for fear of affecting your judgment. But I can tell you now. Those 3 candidates have all studied under me in the past. It's only natural that they share some similarities with me. But Xin Wei went on to focus on his business, and Ming Guo has always been occupied with his work at the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Of all of them, Jerry was with me for the longest duration.
Whoa! So how did you get to know them all, Uncle Tien?
Chen Wei was referred to me by an old friend. Ming Guo came to my attention in the course of my work. As for Jerry, I was
Kayak badut.
pure happenstance.
Menyenangkan.
We first met while fishing. Gradually, as we got to know each other, we started discussing all sorts of topics. Jerry came from a poor family, and his parents died when he was very young. But he was a gifted student and a fast learner. He reminded me of a younger version of myself. So I started out giving him a few words of advice when we were out fishing and noticed how quickly he got on. Quite. And now, all of a sudden, he's grown into a mature young man. It's a joy to see. But it also gets one thinking. The young are growing up, and I am growing old. How time flies. No one can escape the cycle of life.
I don't know, Uncle Tien. You still seem in pretty good shape to me. You might have another few years of work left in you, don't you think?
Oh, you. There's really no need to console me. Having less energy than I used to isn't such a bad thing. It just means I finally have a good reason to retire and spend my days doing what old men like me should be doing.
Sounds like you sure love fishing, Uncle Tien.
Ooh, there's nothing quite like fishing to pass the time. Ooh, and freshly caught fish, they make the most beautiful fish soup with barely any preparation required.
Fresh fish soup. Sounds tasty.
Doesn't it?
Enak.
Also, some time ago, Jerry purchased a very special recipe from an old fisherman. When we've been fishing recently, Jerry always brings some extra ingredients he prepared in advance. Oh, the addition of these
Anjir, kok
makes the
malah
soup
curhat
taste
soal
even
makanan.
more wonderful. That flavor makes for a fond memory. But at my age, who knows how many more chances I have left to taste it again.
Oh, can Paimon come next time try it.
Let's get back to the matter at hand. Uncle Tian, we've reported back. Do you have a verdict?
Mm-hmm. I appointed you as the assessment officer, and I trust your judgment. Had you not asked me why Juri's ideas were so similar to mine, I was not going to mention my history with any of them. This decision must be guided by what is fair and right. Please disregard all other considerations and make your final decision only after a thorough review of each candidate's talents and capabilities. Remember, you must be thorough.
Understood. Come on, let's go talk somewhere else.
Bye-bye, Uncle Tian. Look after yourself. So, it's gonna be Juri, right? His manifesto was written well, and he's the best speaker.
Easy. Let's not rush. There's no time limit for this assessment.
Huh? So, are you gonna give them more tests or something?
No, nothing like that. The assessment itself is complete. But let me give you a word of advice. Things are not always as they appear. The biggest no-no in intelligence work is to only get information from the person of interest themselves. The truth is almost always hidden beneath many layers of deception. You have to get information through many different channels. For example, Wenyuan, Shanghua.
Yes?
Loh, siapa dia?
Lady Yelan, what are your orders?
Kayak ninja aja.
Who are they?
Fatui.
Did they scare you? These two are Wenyuan and Shanghua. They work for me. As my trusted assistants, they are always standing guard nearby. They also perform various assignments as required. Shanghua is a business expert who gets his information by trading. Wenyuan
Ih, bajunya
relies on
bagus
word
deh.
Oh,
of mouth. And
Baju
there's
NPC
also
terbagus yang
Wu
pernah gue lihat.
who's not here right now.
That meathead must have been out there on sea surveillance for
Even
some
it's
time
better
now.
than
Is he
Fatui,
all right?
in my
I seem
opinion.
to remember that he can't swim.
Nothing can take that guy down. Certainly not a little wind and waves.
Shanghua, visit all the commerce guilds and look into Qianwei's background. Wenyuan, go to the Ministry of Civil Affairs and look through Mingbo's work files.
Yes, ma'am.
So what about Juri?
Sure.
Jur-E, well, obviously as the most promising candidate, we will be investigating him ourselves. Let's go to the docks first. Lots of people passing through there. You can find out all kinds of things.
If we're looking for information, why don't we try talking to Bulai, the owner of Wanyu Boutique? He does business at the North Wharf. Maybe he has some news for us.
That's actually not a bad idea. Let's go and ask him.
Kita motong jalan.
What's Bulai doing here today?
Look, your asking price for this batch is just too high. I can't buy in at this price. How am I supposed to turn a profit?
Come on, hear me out. I'm telling you, this is the single best batch of Sunsettias ever. You won't find anyone who disputes that. I accidentally dropped one into a well, and even the water turned sweet.
Even so.
All right. I'll let you in on a little secret. The boss of Second Life also wants to buy from me, but I haven't responded yet. If you won't take him, I'll just have to partner with them instead, and neither of us wants that.
Okay, well, when you put it that way, I'll accept your asking price. I'll take all your stock. Don't sell a single one to Second Life. Oh, what are you doing here? And to be clear, these Sunsettias are mine. I got to them first. Don't get any ideas.
Actually, we went guy called Juri. Have you heard of him before?
Juri? Yes, he's quite well known. I've heard a story about him. They say he was born into poverty. His parents died when he was young, and he was treated cruelly by the local community. One of his neighbors was terribly rude to him all the time, but Juri never retaliated. And when his neighbor went bankrupt, he even helped support the family. He returned cruelty with kindness, injustice with peace offerings. A gentleman of talent and character, and how did I not notice him sooner? In fact, maybe I'm not too late. If I could hire him to be the brand ambassador for Wanyo Boutique.
Oh, he sounds like a decent man. We can finally breathe a sigh of relief.
Why are you asking about him anyway? You aren't looking for a brand ambassador too, are you? Well then, in that case, the higher bidder takes the... that's Juri right over there. Why don't we go and talk to him?
Where?
It's him, all right. Looks like he's chatting with Linlong. Come on, let's follow them and listen in. Try not to let him see you. We want this information to be as truthful as possible.
Nguntit
I'll just go and fetch
kandidat.
an employment contract. And hey, don't try and cut me out of this. Hey!
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
Waduh, quest ngumpet gak tuh?
So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
The truth is, an old friend of mine who likes to have a drink now and then.
Salah pencet.
Don't get too close, or he'll see you.
Salah pencet. OMG. Lalu lakukan kemampuan melacakmu. Oke. Sorry, Yelan.
Try not to let him see you. We want this information to be as truthful as possible.
Iya, sorry deh, sorry.
I understand. Let's walk and talk.
What's the hurry? Don't get too close, or he'll see you.
Dia nggak. Ayolah, mending dari jauh aja deh. Kenapa aku bodoh sekali masalah beginian? Ngegas banget lagi ya, Lan. Buru-buru apaan sih? Santai dong, tante.
Let's walk and talk.
Tante santai dong. Santai aja, tante.
So, you were looking to buy a wineware set? Oh, now I can see that you're a connoisseur, so I won't bother trying to con you. I trust you understand our shop quite well?
Suaranya kayak Paimon ya? Si Corina juga kah yang ngisi?
The truth is, an old friend of mine who likes to have a drink now and then. He fancies himself as a man of culture, but doesn't care for needless extravagance. So I thought I might buy him a set of high-quality fakes.
How very thoughtful of you. Leave it to me then. Come and collect it
Kayak
at
suara
Chianti
siapa ya?
whenever it's
Shangling.
convenient.
Kayak suara Shangling. Ayolah, ngobrol sambil pakai jalan.
Thank you very much, Miss Linlong.
It's my pleasure, Mr. Juri. These days, it's quite rare for someone of your standing to still keep up with their old friends. It's nice to see. I'll be sure to pick out a good set for you. You can count on me.
Sayu, suara Sayu. Aduh, suara siapa sih? Kayak seseorang yang tidak asing gitu loh. Oh, udah.
Juri seems to get along really well with everyone. Are you satisfied now, Yelan? Seems like everyone thinks Juri's a great guy.
We shouldn't jump to conclusions just yet. Let's go check out the wharf where he usually goes fishing.
Do we have to? Wait, you're not just trying to dig up some dirt on Juri because you
Susun.
Maybe I am. Maybe I'm not. But hey, if I do become Chanshu, I'll look out for you guys. You'll be able to try all the finest food for free. How does that sound?
We will? Well, come on! Off
Gampang
we
banget.
go!
Gampang banget digodain si itu. Pengen deh naik beca. Pengen naik beca. Di mana? Oh, sini.
Useless. Boring. Huh.
The wharf is as busy as ever. I hear the anglers here sometimes sell their fish to the nearby fishmongers. Let's see what Uncle Soon has to say.
Welcome. What would you like to buy today?
Mau beli info.
Sorry to interrupt. We're actually members of the Liu
Indonesia
Anglers
banyak typonya
Association,
deh.
and we just wanted to ask a few questions about someone. We've heard about this young man called Zhi, who's supposed to be a fantastic fisherman. Just wondering if you happen to have heard of him?
No! Yelan made up a whole fake identity. Like a batty an eyelid.
Ah, yes, Jury. He's been making quite a name for himself recently. I've got some friends who travel all over the place, and they tell me everywhere they go they meet someone who's heard of him. Apparently, he had a rather tough time growing up. Had to work several jobs alongside his studies to make ends meet. How does that saying go? What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Well, if there's anything to that logic, he's sure to be phenomenally successful one day.
Yeah, we think so too.
But I'm afraid your Anglers Association might be in for a disappointment.
Oh? Why is that?
He's good at a lot of things, but fishing isn't one of them. He fishes at the wharf and sells what he catches to me on occasion. His catches are always mediocre. Not terrible, but equally nothing to write home about. If you're looking to recruit some new members, though, I do know a few top anglers I could put you in touch with.
That sounds fantastic. I've got a couple of other things to attend to right now, though, so why don't I come back some other time and we can chat over a drink?
Sure thing. See you.
Everywhere they go, they meet someone who's heard of him. Come on, let's keep asking around.
Dare desu ka? Oh, si Gao. Paman Gao.
Here to buy some fish? It's 300 for one or 3 for 1,000. You better hurry. When they're gone, they're gone.
Hello, we're from the Society for Fish Price Research. We'd just like to ask a few questions.
Wow, she's me again.
Society for Fish Price Research? I haven't done anything illegal. Stay out of my business.
Please, don't worry. We're just here to conduct a simple survey. We've heard about a certain Zhi who's been selling fresh fish at low prices in this area recently. Do you know anything about this?
So this isn't about me. You should have said something, you know. I know the guy. I can tell you what I know. I haven't heard anything about him selling fresh fish at low prices, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was him.
Oh? Why is that?
Because he's so poor. His parents died when he was very young, and his alcoholic father still owed a huge amount of debt. No one wanted anything to do with him. He was still a kid when he first came to the wharf. His clothes were ragged, and he had a bandage wrapped around his head. But he managed to survive, thanks to Uncle Tien, who gave him some food. But still to this day, he doesn't have a lot of mora to his name. I mean, he can afford to eat and everything, but you'll often see him haggling with others over just a few mora. So, I wouldn't be surprised to find out he's been selling a few fish. It's not like he catches much anyway, so it's not going to affect my business. Don't tell him I said that.
You'd rather he didn't know?
Well, I spoke to him once, briefly, and I just had a feeling that he really cares what other people think of him. I think he has pretty low self-esteem, but hey, it's hardly my place to say anything. What he's achieved already puts most people to shame. And nobody's perfect. I just wouldn't want to upset him, that's all.
I see. Well, thank you for sharing that with us.
Not a problem. And just for the record, there's absolutely nothing wrong with the price of my fish.
Matematika lu
The more
salah.
times you say it, the less convincing it becomes.
Doesn't have a lot of mora to his name. Okay, let's keep going.
Hey, it's you guys! Wait, what's the phrase? Oh yeah, honored to meet you. What brings you to me?
The truth is, we are but newcomers to this territory. We heard tell of a great martial artist, Master Dugu, who knows everything there is to know. Hence, we sought you out to ask for your guidance.
Really? People said I know everything there is to know?
But of course, we also heard that Master Dugu is a kind and virtuous swordsman who never turns away anyone who comes to his.
Great! So what do you wish to know? Nothing happens on this street that I don't know about.
Now she's lying to a kid.
So, Master Dugu, have you heard of one by the name of Jur-E?
Sure have. You mean that guy that all the grown-ups are talking about these days? I've heard many tales of jury. For example, I can't remember. Probably because it's nothing that important. I prefer stories about sword-fighting heroes.
Oh, I can completely understand that. Then let me ask you this. Do you remember roughly when the grown-ups started talking about Jur-E?
Oh yeah, I know that. It was about 2 or 3 months ago. Before that, people always used to talk about jury in a kind of nasty tone of voice. But 2 or 3 months ago, suddenly everyone started to like him. Sometimes he gives me candies, so I'm glad that people are starting to like him now.
Just as I thought.
Huh? What do you mean?
I mean, just as I thought, Master Dugu is indeed as kind and virtuous as the legends claim.
Ngibulin bocah.
I'm not that great.
Tega banget sih,
Oh, yeah.
Yelan.
One other thing. These days, there's a lot of people I've never seen before talking about jury stories in the street. They seem like nice people.
Oh, definitely.
Great. So next time I see them, I'll say hi. And I guess I can share some of my candies with them too.
Certainly. You can also tell my friend in Yenshang Tea House about what they're up to. I'm sure my friend would also like to say hi to them.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome. Well then, fare thee well, Master Dugu.
Until we meet again.
Until we meet again.
Any of that sound strange to you?
Strange? What was strange about it? Juri seems to have a great reputation. Uncle Soon and Uncle Gas spoke highly of him, and Dugu Shuo seems to like him too.
True. But the issue is, where did his sudden celebrity come from? It almost seems too good to be true.
Sudden? Too good to be true? What do you mean?
So he returns cruelty with kindness and had to work to support his studies. These are the kinds of things that make someone well known in their hometown. But Uncle soon said even his friends who travel far and wide hear about him wherever they go. That's a little over the top, if you ask me. Do you remember what Dugu Shuo said about Jur-E's stories? Clearly they left him with a good impression of the guy. But beyond that, he wasn't interested in the details. That's the reaction I would expect from any normal person. Plus, there's the fact that all this praise of Jur-E has only been happening within the last 2 or 3 months. His childhood, his studies, the thing with his neighbor. None of these are recent events. So why are these stories only going around now?
When you put it like that, it is kinda strange.
Of course, if that's all there was to it, I wouldn't look into it any further. Jur-E was born into a poor family. Paying people to get his stories out there is within the rules of the game as far as I'm concerned. The problem is, do you remember what Uncle Gao said about him? He's stayed poor his whole life. Everything he's earned he's either spent on studying, traveling, or paying off debts. I don't think he has the mora to pay for a publicity campaign. Right, and that changes everything. It can mean a powerful faction is trying to gain influence over the Liu at Xixing. That's the worst-case scenario. But all too
Kritis
often,
juga.
the most pessimistic speculation turns out to be closest to the truth.
Someone's trying to gain influence over the Qixing? That sounds serious. What should we do? Even if we asked Juri about it, surely there's no way he'd admit it.
First, we need to find out who's supporting him. Don't worry, I've got a plan. Remember the current affairs and planning stage of the assessment? Since the successful candidate is duty-bound to implement their plan after taking office, their manifesto tells us their stance on key issues. Whoever is secretly helping Jur-E must be seeking to benefit from his actions after his appointment. So, we should be able to find some hints in Jur-E's manifesto on who we're dealing with. Come on, let's get back to Yanshang Tea House.
Yanshang Tea House. Aduh, bosan. Kirain questnya bakal di Kazem. Ternyata di Liyue Harbor. Kemana?
Jur-E's manifesto covers a huge range of topics. Looking for details that don't add up would be like trying to find a needle in a haystack. I'll divide the reports into 2 piles. You take one, I'll take the other. When we're finished, we'll put our heads together. Officially, the assessment is already over, and I'll be expected to announce the results before long. So we have to get to the bottom of this as quickly as we can.
Yikes! We better hurry!
Whatever else Uncle Tian might think of Jur-E, the fact remains that he's one of his favorite students. Any evidence he's left is not going to be immediately obvious. We'll have to look carefully and think critically.
Even though Yelan took half, there's still a lot to get through. Well, we gotta start somewhere.
Okay. Kazem. Blackcliff Road nganggur di Golden House.
All this reading is giving Paimon a headache.
Looks like I'm the first one back, as usual.
Oh, hey! It's one of Yelan's little helpers, Shanghua! If you're back, that means you finished investigating Tianwei, right?
You betcha. I visited all the commerce guilds and gathered a wealth of information. Every time they asked me to leave, but I always had another trick up my sleeve.
Nongol nggak tuh?
Don't drag this out. Just tell us your findings.
Yes, Lady Yelan. To summarize my findings, most people who've had interactions with Tianwei will start out complaining about how proud and arrogant he is, but then go on to give a generally positive appraisal of him. The young master of the Feiyun Commerce Guild said that Tianwei appears arrogant, but he's very scrupulous in the way he works. Once he signs a contract with somebody, he treats them fairly regardless of their background.
Who'd have thought?
Is it possible that his reputation is fake? Is there any way you can check the accounts of the businesses under his name?
In theory, that should be very difficult. But here's the thing. I asked around and found out that almost all of Tianwei's accounts are open to the public. Where he buys from and sells to should be confidential business information, but he doesn't seem interested in protecting it at all. Tianwei often sees business opportunities that others don't, but once he's made enough mora off of it, it's like he gets sick of it and releases all of his trade secrets. It's like he wants people to know that they still can't beat him, even if he shares all of his secrets. The fact that someone like that can still make mora is pretty infuriating when you think about it.
What a strange guy. It's like he's not doing business to make mora, but
To validate his theories. No wonder his manifesto contains so many insights. It's all the result of his first-hand experimentation.
I'm back! Huh? Ah, how come you're here?
Why do you think?
Pakai
Obviously,
lomba-lombaan.
because I possess superior skills and am always one step ahead of the competition.
You... Ugh, whatever. I'm not getting into an argument with you. If I hadn't had something else to take care of on the way, I would have been back long before you. Lady Yelan, I have finished investigating Mingbois.
Well, we're all ears.
The Ministry of Civil Affairs says that Mingbois struggles to get his words out when he gets nervous, especially when he's chatting with strangers. But after a few days of getting to know him, you can pretty much have a normal conversation with him. On the whole, the feedback from the Ministry of Civil Affairs was very positive. He always considers the things that everyone else overlooks.
In your opinion, was the Ministry of Civil Affairs' appraisal of Mingbois at all exaggerated?
I don't believe so. Mingbois is someone who has slowly but surely earned the reputation he has today. According to Miss Yu, the ministry often gets Mingbois to take a final look at projects before they're implemented. People feel much more confident in something if it has his stamp of approval. Oh, and also, there was once someone in the ministry who was lying and cheating to try to advance their career. Mingbois gave them the scolding of a lifetime. Apparently, he can be terrifying when he loses his temper. I haven't seen it for myself, though.
whoa, that's hard to imagine.
Like I said before, things are not always as they appear.
Ah, so that's what you meant by that. I'm starting to get it now.
Thank you both. You're free to go now. So, have you finished reading the manifesto?
We still have a bit left.
I can't see any immediate problems looking at the individual entries. The only one that strikes me as a little unusual is the Cheongshu Pool redevelopment plan. Cheongshu Pool has always been home to many secrets. Plus, Ajdaha once wrought havoc there, so there are even more secrets buried deep underground. At
Waduh,
some
kita
point,
kesana nih.
a rumor began to go around that there is great treasure buried beneath Cheongshu Pool. A long time ago, with the approval of the Qixing, a mining team conducted an exploratory excavation there.
So, did they find any treasure?
None. The ruin was completely impenetrable. The only way they could have gotten through the solid rock would have been by blowing it open with a special... The technology wasn't mature enough at that time, so the excavation project was shut down and the treasure became a mere legend. Zhi Yi's manifesto focuses on solving problems And this treasure hunt seems extremely risky. It seems out of step with the rest of his plans. Still, this one fact alone doesn't tell us much. Everyone wants to get their hands on this treasure. The treasure hoarder. Did you find anything?
Excavation? Project? Treasure? Did we read anything similar in our half of the manifesto? Oh yeah! Juri said the Blackcliff Forge workers should get right of first refusal if...
Did he now? Well, that makes everything much clearer. So Jur-E wants the Blackcliff Forge to excavate the treasure of Chiangshu Pool.
Does that mean the Blackcliff Forge is Juri's secret supporter?
No, not likely. I've looked into the Blackcliff Forge before. They aren't involved with any powerful factions at present. They do possess some specialized explosives, but it would seem more trouble than it's worth to put so many resources into a risky project like this. Still, since the clues are pointing toward the Blackcliff Forge, we should see where they lead. We may well find something new.
Shenwei and Mingbo both turned out to be completely different than what we thought. What about Juri? Is there another side to him too?
Blackcliff Forge bukannya di sini ya? Apa sih namanya? Ini nih. Bukan ya? Enggak. Kirain daerah di Yui Blackcliff. Oh, Starchnut. Kayak ada yang namanya Blackcliff deh. I don't know. Lupain aja. Yay, untuk sudah ada jet chamber. Gampang teleportnya. Loh, hujan. Wah. Di sini jarang hujan kelihatannya. Wah, kenapa nih? Tumben banget.
Demons do not stop for the raid. Move.
Oh iya, ampun bos. Ampun bos demon.
This is the Blackcliff Forge. Let's look around for clues.
Kesini kah?
Anything strange been going on with...
Excuse me?
Just, you know, stuff that...
Ada yang buat sih nanyanya Pak Imam.
Huh, that was weird.
I don't think we're going to get anywhere asking questions like that. Let's just take a look around.
What's this? A diary?
From the back, it looks like a ledger, but it seems they also use it as a site log. We don't know who wrote it, but it's interesting, don't you think? These newcomers, who could have sent them?
You think they're suspicious?
Yes. Look, it says right there, one of them's already been promoted to team leader. At this rate, by the time the Chiangshu Pool redevelopment plan is ready to roll, they'll be the technical backbone of the team. That'll give them the chance to take a lot of liberties. They can copy any secret texts or steal any treasure they find underground. Imagine if we didn't suspect anything. By the time Jur-E recommends the Blackcliff Forge for the excavation project, at most we would maybe do a fresh background check on the place. No red flags if all they did was change some key staff. And even if we decided to vet the staff individually, they'd have had more than enough time by then to come up with fake identities. That's the advantage of planning this far in advance. It was a clever move.
When you put it like that, it all makes sense. If we hadn't found this out, someone else would have stolen the treasure. So, who's really behind all this?
That's a question for the newcomers. But let's start with that worker over there for now.
Excuse us. We want to ask you about the newcomers.
You want them to teach you or something? I gotta say, these newcomers are in tip-top shape. Fast learners, too. They're picking up all the skills unbelievably fast. My only complaint is that they're always going out drinking at night. But they never let us join them. I guess they just need some time to adjust. I'm sure we'll get to know each other over time.
They go out drinking. This area isn't exactly renowned for the nightlife. I'm guessing it's a long trip to the nearest tavern.
You got that right. They tell me they go all the way back to Liyue Harbor to drink at Wanmin Restaurant. It rained after work today, so they actually stuck around at the site for a while. But as soon as the rain stopped, they went out drinking again right away. Hey, you're only young once, right? I say, if they can hack it, let them at it.
Interesting. Let's go talk somewhere else. Looks like our hunch was on the Mora. These newcomers are very suspicious. Drinking in Liyue Harbor, huh? Some cover story. I'll wager they've been going to intelligence updates. Good thing it rained today. It means they'll leave footprints. I doubt they'd give themselves away that easily.
Oh, jadi ini
Let's follow
alasannya.
them and try our luck.
Jadi itu alasan tadi. Jet chamber hujan. Kukira hanya kebetulan. Ternyata memang direncanakan.
They went that way. Hurry, we gotta catch up.
We better catch up. Kemana lagi? Oh. Oh, sini.
Huh. These footprints are heading towards Liyue Harbor. Maybe we were wrong about them.
Ah, really?
Just as I thought. They didn't go to Liyue Harbor. They went that way.
Misi, Mbak.
The footprints stop here. But, judging from the direction, I'm guessing their destination was that abandoned.
Waduh, hujan lagi nggak tuh? Mana lagi? Jejakannya. Wah, pertukaran. Wah, siapa nih? Aduh, nggak bisa keluar. Woi, nyangkut tuh. Oh. Really, dude? Gue nyangkut beneran, woi. Ah, easy. Mana lagi?
Many mortals fear lightning.
Ah, berisik.
Looks like we were too late. This has gotta be where the newcomers rendezvous with whoever they're working for. But all the evidence has been destroyed. Look at these ashes. Someone was burning documents not long before we arrived.
Could there be anything left? Maybe the wind could have blown the fire out before everything was finished burning.
The odds of that are very slim. It's practically impossible. I've checked. All the paper's been burned. There's only ash left now.
Why don't we wait for them back at the Black Cliff Forge? They've got to go back there sooner or later.
We can't count on that. Clearly they were based here at one point, but it's mysteriously abandoned now. To me, that says that whoever's behind this has moved them somewhere else to throw our investigation off course.
Darn! Guess this is where our trail runs cold.
Make no mistake, the purpose of our trip wasn't to find any solid evidence. We just need to figure out who's behind Jur-E. I smelled something peculiar the moment I came in. Those newcomers probably thought they'd be safe as long as they burned the letters. But what they failed to consider is that paper and ink from different regions produce different odors when they're burned.
Really?
Gila, detail banget.
Pilot can't smell anything. Do you smell anything?
There is a certain place with a freezing cold climate where there's nothing but ice as far as the eye
Dia
can see.
spesifik banget taunya.
Some wealthy people there put floral fragrance in their ink as a way of injecting a little romance into their writing. When that fragrant ink is burned, this is the exact odor that it leaves behind. Exactly. The evidence will soon be blown away by the wind, so it's nothing we can arrest anyone with. But it's all I need. Now I know who we're dealing with. I can plan our next move.
Lady Yelan! Oh, thank goodness I finally found you. I thought I'd never see you again.
Who are you?
Don't be alarmed. This is Upei. He's Wenyuan and Shanghua's colleague. I sent him to look into Zhiyi's regular contacts. Since Zhiyi likes fishing, Upei thought he might know some of the fishermen and sailors, so he took a boat out to sea to ask around. I left him a note at Yanshang Tea House telling him to look for me at Blackcliff Forge when he got back. If there'd been an ambush waiting for us there, it means we'd have had some backup. So, what did you find out at sea?
Forgive my incompetence. I'm afraid I've come up empty-handed. I asked all the fishermen multiple times, but none of them had any interactions with Zhiyi before. Then the waves got so choppy I ended up falling overboard. Fortunately, someone managed to drag me out. When I got back, I heard that you'd gone to Blackcliff Forge and might need backup, so I went straight there as fast as I could. Didn't even stop to change my clothes.
Well, Uncle Tian said that Zhiyi once bought a recipe from one of the fishermen. Did you hear anything about that at all?
What? That's news to me. No, that's not possible. It's absolutely not possible. Lady Yelan, I'm telling you, I spoke to every single fisherman out there, and none of them mentioned anything about a recipe.
Interesting. Then I wonder how that even more wonderful fish soup came about.
Fish soup? What fish soup?
Nothing. Our priority right now is to find a way to get our hands on some solid evidence. Well, any suggestions? Not a bad idea. Upei, what do you think?
Upei?
Honestly, I've already tried following Zhiyi, but the guy's too cautious. Never meets with anyone suspicious.
Okay, so tailing's out.
No, we'll still need to tail him. But first, we need to do some groundwork.
Groundwork?
When you've worked in intelligence for a long time, you'll understand that no one can stay on high alert forever. Tomorrow morning, I'll announce his victory at Yuehai Pavilion. Take a guess what you think he'll do next. Be sure to arrive on time. You won't want to miss the show.
Menarik. It is getting more interesting. Oke, jam 9.
The rain stopped. I don't concern myself with the weather.
It looks like we're all here. Well then, time for me to announce the results of the assessment process. I won't drone on about the importance of the Tianshu role. Suffice to say that Uncle Tian entrusted me with the monumentally important task of assessing the candidates. And now, it falls to me to give him a satisfactory answer.
All of us here know the score. Don't beat around the bush, just get on with it.
Qianwei has many pioneering ideas, but some of his plans are lacking in detail, and he easily gets into testy exchanges with
Suka
other people.
ribut sama orang.
Mingguo is reliable, but not quite ambitious enough, and because of his personality, he struggles to win people over. In contrast, Zhi is evenly balanced across the board and enjoys an excellent reputation in Liyue. After much consideration, I have decided to recommend Zhi to the Liyue
Kok tetap
Chushen.
Jui?
What?
Oh, congratulations.
Thank you. Honestly, I'm a little surprised to hear my name being announced. In my estimation, all three of us are worthy candidates for the Tianshu position. As your competitor, I've become keenly
Rencana
aware of
apa
your
lagi
great
nih?
talents.
Yelan.
Would either of you entertain the possibility of working with me in the future and taking on some of my workload?
I'll have to see. I'm in a bad mood. This is the last thing I want to be thinking about right now.
Aduh, jangan
I
ngambek
don't
dong.
mind, as long as I can help.
Okay, well, that's all from me. Zhi, you'll have some preparation to do. It won't be long before you're informed of your
I will live up to the Tianshu name. On this,
Halo
you
lagi,
have my
Kak.
word.
Oke, halo
I should go.
Kurodes.
I need to pack my things, and then I think a celebratory meal is in
Udah
order.
makan?
Would anyone like to join me?
Lagi story
Count
Yelan
me
nih.
out. I'm not in the mood for a celebration.
Waduh.
Juri seems pretty relaxed now. This would be a good time to follow him.
Hey, traveler, tell me something. What exactly does that guy have that I don't?
Aduh,
If
masih
you
aja
can't answer
sombong.
that, I'm
Nggak
not
terima
accepting
dong
this result.
keputusan juri.
I, also wouldn't mind knowing.
Oh no, if we get stuck here, we won't be able to leave.
Tinggal pergi.
Follow him.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Ayo bikin dia lengah dulu si Jui. Jui.
We finally got rid of them.
Lady Yelan, Jury has gone towards Feiyun Slope.
Follow him, quickly.
Ayo, cepat, cepat. Cepat, buntuti dia
Juri
cepat.
really sided with the Fatui? But Uncle Tian thinks so highly of him. Why would he do this?
Mana saya tahu.
Difficult to say, but everything should become a lot clearer when we find him.
Alhamdulillah. Apa sih Opik? Tiba-tiba ngirim emoji,
Sorry,
aku
Lady
bingung.
Yelan. We lost him.
Ya,
He's too good at this. We weren't able to keep following him without being seen.
kami tidak bisa mengikutinya
How the
teman-teman.
heck did he manage to shake Yelan's subordinates? I guess Juri didn't let his guard down.
No, Upe says he's much more relaxed than usual. Maybe it's just how he's wired. Perceptive enough to sense when he's being watched.
How?
Don't blame yourselves. Let's not forget he was trained by Uncle Tian himself. Evading detection is not an unusual skill for him to have. If I'd asked you to tail Uncle Tian, you'd have ended up at a dead end too. It's fine. So, where did you lose him?
Shinyue kiosk. He only went in briefly. Upe and I were watching outside the whole time. A few moments later, a man dressed in a completely different outfit came out. Upe had a feeling that it was him, but we couldn't get close enough to check without blowing our cover. I figured that if we spooked him, it would undo what we've accomplished today so far. Another option would have been to arrest him there and then, but without any evidence, that would have... So I stopped Upe, and I stayed here to wait for you while that meathead went to ask around in Shinyue kiosk.
Good work. The fish didn't take the bait, but that's okay. As long as he's still swimming around, we'll find a way to catch him eventually. Let's go to Shinyue Kiosk.
Shinyue kiosk. Mari kita masuk. Questnya agak boring kayaknya. Gak tau sih, menurut gue aja deh. Because it isn't about Yelan
Could
herself.
you explain to me how that works? A guy like him comes in, changes his whole outfit right under your nose, and you don't even ask him about it?
Our customers are free to dress however they please. What grounds would I have to question him?
Tiba-tiba ngegas anak buahnya Yelan.
Okay, fair enough, but
Upe.
didn't you think it was just a little bit strange?
Well, maybe I did, but it still doesn't give me the right to stop him.
Enough. Let's tone this down a little. I'll make this quick. Just one question. What did he buy while he was here?
Oh, he didn't buy anything. He just picked up a bottle of liquor that he ordered ages ago.
A bottle of liquor?
Yes, a very strong kind. Fiery, with a rich flavor. Not something the average customer would order. This gentleman ordered it in person from us a long time ago. He was only here today to pick it up.
Liquor and wineware. I see.
I see.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Where to?
Shigu Antiques.
Siku Antiques. Ini yang viewers lagi pada ngapain? Udah diem-diem aja. Temenin ngobrol dong. Kalau masih ada. Ini keluarnya di mana? Oh, di sini ya. Ups, salah. Oh, namanya kayak bukan Shigu Antique. Masih ada aja loh mereka. Emang namanya Shigu ya? I forgot.
Hey, Miss Lin Long. Sorry to
Lin
bother
Long.
you. Jur-E ordered a wineware set from you not long ago, right? We're friends of his. He's been telling us how impressed he is with the quality, considering how affordable it was. So we just had to come and take a look for ourselves.
Sure. Which model are you looking for?
We don't really know a whole lot about wineware. Let's just go with Jur-E's choice. Would you be able to show us the one he bought?
Jur-E picked up his set not long ago. As a quality imitation of an antique wineware set, it has the look and feel of a luxury item. Just so you're aware, we don't have many of this model left in stock. And now that Mr. Jur-E has taken one, I'm afraid it may encourage the price to go up a little.
Don't worry. Price shouldn't be an issue. I'm sure we can work something out. But I'm just a little hazy on one thing. Did Jur-E's wineware set include wine glasses?
For this set, the wine glasses are sold separately. Minimum purchase is 1 glass, maximum is 4. Mr. Jur-E bought 2.
Oh, two.
Okay. Thanks, Lin Long. Seems
Thanks,
there's a
Lin
little
Long.
more to buying wineware than I first thought. We'll have to mull it over.
Well, don't take too long. We could sell out any day now. All right, see you next time.
Bye. See you next time. Bye-bye.
This is turning into a real headache.
I'd just like to point out that we have the self-professed Grandmaster
Juara.
of Fieldwork here to thank for being wholly incapable of tailing an ordinary civilian without being seen.
It's not like you did any better.
My specialty is information trading, okay? I don't have the physical agility. What's your excuse?
Fair point.
Masuk akal.
Yelan, so has the plan failed? Oh, if we can't figure out where Jerry went, there's not much we can do. But why was he buying liquor at Shinue Kiosk anyway? To celebrate?
If so, it's no ordinary celebration.
What do you mean?
What do you mean?
First of all, Jur-E isn't much of a drinker. On some level, he hates alcohol because of what it did to his father. If he was just looking to celebrate by himself, he wouldn't spend his meager savings on an expensive bottle of alcohol. Let alone now. This is a victory feast, held in honor of Jur-E's private sponsor. Whoever this person is clearly enjoys hard
Semakin
liquor and has
jelas.
a very high status. Hence the need for expensive-looking wineware. Now, where might we find Fatui who match that description, I wonder?
Chill deh.
TUI officials. Should be either the Snezhnayan Embassy or the Northland Bank.
Have both locations surrounded. Take as
Anjay,
many people as
kepung.
you need.
Lady Yelan, is it time for us to make our move? If so, you can count me in.
Get with the program, would you? This is a covert surveillance operation. Jur-E may be vigilant, but that doesn't mean the same is true for his drinking buddy. In which case, we don't need to change tactics. Just change who we're following.
Great idea! So we just need to find out who Juri bought that liquor for and follow them instead!
But Lady Yelan, if we get caught, this could become a major diplomatic incident.
I'm well aware. But don't you see? Jur-E is gambling everything on this. If we really want to catch him, we're going to have to accept a little risk ourselves. Stick to your orders, and make sure we're covering all other bases too. anywhere else Jur-E might be going. I want eyes on those locations.
Yes, ma'am.
Don't worry, Lady Yelan. Jur-E may be a slippery character, but we'll keep a close watch on the movements of all Fatui officials.
I'll be waiting for you at the tea house. If I'm guessing correctly, Fatui officials are likely to take action at night. You should go and get ready. Then meet me at Yansheng Tea House.
Kayaknya enggak. Yang petinggi Slash-nya siapa lagi yang tetap di Liu? Maksudnya jadi sebagai pemeran utamanya lah.
Perfect timing. Wen Yuan just sent word that the Fatui ambassador, Yusupov, just left the embassy alone. He's heading in the direction of Qingshu Pool.
Qingshu Pool? That's the place Jerry mentioned in his manifesto.
It looks like that's where they've arranged to meet. Sensible choice. I'll get Qingshu Pool is always crawling with monsters. Most people wouldn't dream of going there. It's one place they won't need to worry about being seen.
Oh no, we gotta go get them!
Let's go. If my hunch is correct, we just might hit the jackpot this time. This is Qingshu Pool, full of ruins, crawling with monsters. Anyone with any sense steers well clear of this place. I've looked into the place before. There's a worker's entrance somewhere around here. Follow me.
Ya. Kemana? Oh, ya Allah. Ya, ya.
Useless!
There's been some work done on this place in the past, but it's a bit of a labyrinth inside. I can't guarantee we'll be safe once we're underground. The workers left an emergency access route. If we can find it, this will be a much easier journey. Still, be ready to fight at any moment. Any resistance needs to be taken out quickly and quietly.
Don't worry, we're all professionals here. By the way, Yelan, where are your 3 little helpers at?
They have other things to take care of first. We couldn't afford to wait for them, but they'll join.
Sure.
Gue pakai bisik-bisik sih. Mantap. Cakep. Bismillah.
Quietly now.
Aduh bingung ada 5.
One with nature. Clouds high. The birds call.
There is no escape!
As I expected. But this shouldn't be too much trouble.
Common chance, tapi nggak ada emojinya. Baiklah. Terus kemana nih?
You guys see that? That's gotta be the Fatui ambassador here to meet Ji. Looks like he went through that door. That must be the emergency access route, right? Come on, let's hurry.
Let's hurry. Let's hurry. Let's hurry. Ini ke arah mana, woi? Right. Oh, aduh, kenapa ada landak ya?
Shine down!
Order guide you.
Wind Strider.
Oh diambil. Kirain kacang. Oh itu. Masukin di sini ya. Oh begitu caranya. Baiklah. Wih. Aduh kalau di puzzle susah kan bisa.
The water's gone down. Hey, look! Is that another way through?
Oke, lanjut. Jatuh. Tuh, itu tangga. Shing, shing, shing. Shing, shing, shing. Isn't that too high? Nggak bisa dipanjat. Terus tak dulu. Oh, untuk rendah. Astaga.
There is no escape!
Sini dia, Pak. Labirin kah? Bonus. Kemana ya? Oh, ada jalan lagi. Bisa.
Evil conquering!
Oh, salah.
Shut it!
Busted. Game's up. Fun's over. Gotcha.
Dari sini. Pintu lain aja deh. Loh, kok bingung? Loh, kok gak ada pintunya? Lah ini lah kocak.
Take it easy.
Pintar banget sumpah diam aja. Malah lupa sendiri. Apa lagi? Wah, untung aja bisa keluar. Oke, pakai kaki aja. Halo Rizky.
The water's flowed into the groove, and now the statues have lit up. Okay, now we should be able to move the statues.
Saya punya nama nih. Saya punya nama nih, Bang. Mana tadi nggak boleh tadi tuh? Oh. Oh itu. Untung ditandain.
This is the construction workers' emergency access route, but it's closed tight. Trying to break through would be risky. Let's see if we can find another way.
Hah? Apa sih nih? Gimana? Hah? Ini apa? Ya Allah, bantuin dong. Ini apa? Astaga. Maksudnya apa, woy? Kazuha, Anda bikin saya iri, Neng. Waduh, sorry. I'm so sorry lah. Makanya build artefact lah. By the way, ini juga bukan apa, Kazuhanya Kazuha lagi build di BS nih, bukan EM. Jadi wajar kalau damage-nya gede. Pakai 2 Fury, 2 Gladi. Gampang lah. Gampang lah, Gladi kan pasti banyak kan kamu kan. Tinggal cari-cari aja yang substatnya bagus. Ini ngapain sih? Ya Allah, efek gak baca begini nih. Ada clue di tempat lain nih? Kayaknya nggak ada. Oh, nggak punya Kazuha. Jangan-jangan dulu kamu yang dulu ngata-ngatain Kazuha B5-nya Sucrose ya, terus ngata-ngatain batangan kok nge-pull Kazuha. Tuh yang kuning diarahin ke cahayanya. Cahaya sini kah? Yang ini? Cahaya ini? Dia yang kuning ini? Gini? Gini maksudnya? Terus kalau menjauh cahayanya hilang. Gimana maksudnya? Ajarin patung. Arahin ke cahaya mana? Sini. Oh. Oke. Yap, betul. Oh. Shit. Gak paham. Oh, gitu maksudnya. Oh, ya sih. Udah paham. Udah agak paham. Ih, makasih Rizky. Oh iya, jadi cahayanya penanda ya? Ya. Oke. Got it. Ya ampun, kalau nggak live stream sih gue nggak tahu sih. Maaf ya. Nah ini dorong yang ini gimana ya? Ya pindahin dulu dong. Harusnya yang kanan dulu ya, PA. Nah, oke, yang penting udah paham. Ini dikunci dulu. Terus kita keluarin. BTW gue skip Kazuha karena gue nunggu Ayaka, bukan timnya bilang Kazuha. Oke. Cukup tahu. Bagus. Emang tuh yang suka bandingin apa? Runner up apa istilahnya? Suka bandingin banner yang baru keluar sama B4 itu nyebelin banget sih. Ya, kok nggak ada urusan lain selain ngebanding-bandingin orang mau pull Kazuha, mau pull aja. Dan anyway, Sucrose gue juga belum C6, jadi ya gitu deh. Ya worth to pull juga, gue juga husbandonya Kazuha, jadi oke. Cukup tahu kata-kata itu. Oh sorry, am I offending you? Sorry deh kalau tersinggung. Tidak bermaksud.
We should be nearly at the bottom now. Let's wrap this up.
Gather.
Tapi yang jelas,
This is order.
Genshin tuh dibuat karakternya ada
Quietly now.
Fallen leaves, adorn my night! The wind knows me.
Bodoh gitu. Bandingin Nanu, Metaslave, segala macamnya. Huhuhu. Tuan, ada nih Tuan. Buset, lu mau party aja di Goa begini.
I can tell from the aroma that this is very fine liquor indeed. I'm impressed. Come on, bottoms up. After you, of course.
Oh, sorry, that went down the wrong way. I've never drunk anything this strong before. It'll take me some getting used to.
You'll get there. If you want to stay friends with us, you have to drink with us.
8 hari lagi. Ini kan masih 8.
I'll do my best.
Ya pokoknya hitunglah semingguan nih bannernya Xiao sama Yelan. Kalau misalkan emang bener, nah terus kan Ito kan, bukan habis Xiao langsung Kazuha kan. Ito terus updates, live updates, dapat Primo Gym lagi. Cukup lah, walau meskipun trade off, maksudnya sampai skenario terburuknya kalau sampai guaranteed harusnya cukup dong, sebulanan lah, easy lah, apalagi ada event segala macam. Ayo bisa yuk ngumpulin Primo Gym yang rajin, yuk.
You're more of a lightweight than I thought. Already struggling after one glass? I thought you were made of sterner stuff. You certainly kept it together when you were poisoning your teacher's soup.
Waduh.
Come on, another round. Less talking, more drinking.
Sure. You didn't leave me much of a choice, though, did you? Just the mention of poisoning sends shivers down my spine.
Lebih baik red off di banner yang kita mau kok dibanding red on tiba-tiba red on di tempat lain. Paham gak maksud gue? Maksudnya nih amit-amit nih kita nabung PT terus ternyata menang red off tuh. Misalkan di show nih menang red off padahal mau Kazuha, kan rugi di kita. Mending red off-nya di Kazuha aja sekalian, dan tapi dengan jaminan Primogen kita kan cukup. Kamu suka yang pool satu-satu gitu ya?
I'm more timid than you realize. Every time I poisoned him, I had to hide away at home for a few days because I was so scared of getting caught.
I know it has not been easy for you, my friend.
Udah easy
We
lah,
appreciate all your hard work. But I have to say,
kalau
you
alhamdulillah
really
menang
are
red off,
quite a
udah
genius at
enak banget,
poisoning
bisa
people.
langsung pull senjatanya atau mau C1-nya.
I mean, the poison we brought from Snezhnaya is as strong as this wine, but you found a way to turn it into an imperceptible, slow-acting poison and came up with the idea of delivering it through fish soup. What was it you said? Oh, yeah. You said the soup's fishy flavor neutralizes the pungency of the poison, and this process even makes the soup tastier as a result. How did you think of that?
It struck me one day when I was fishing. I'm lucky it did. Otherwise, I'm not sure I would have been able to fool Uncle Tien.
You have performed excellently. The Fatui will continue to provide the support you need to consolidate your position as Tianshu. Of course, this is as long as you continue to do as we instruct. Aside from Qingshu Pool, we also have some other requests for you, which we will inform you of in due course.
Don't worry. Whatever tasks you have for me, I will perform them diligently.
Jarang pull satu-satu. Kita ada di saat gue pull satu-satu. Itu pun susah tahu dapat B5 terlebih gitu. Gue tuh cuman pertama kali tuh cuman paling rendah ya PT-nya tuh PT 60, sisanya 70 ke atas. Sedih banget gak sih?
Hold on. Did you bring a camera? If not, you can use mine. This is quite a scene. We have to capture it for posterity.
Bisik-bisik begitu nggak ketahuan ya?
Excellent liquor. We've seen no progress on the diplomatic front, and everyone has been eyeing up the treasure of Qingshu Pool. But soon, everything will be taken care of, and I can report back on a successful mission. Thank you, Juri. I remember when I first saw you. I knew right away that you would make a good partner for us. Hey, do you still remember what I said to you?
How could I forget? You said a lowly commoner like me could never be seen as a serious candidate for the Tianshu, no matter how hard I work. The only way is for you to shine bright in the Tianshu's darkest moment. I think you were absolutely right.
Yes, under normal circumstances, the gap between you and other people could only ever grow wider over time. Just look at your two competitors. Chen Wei had wealth. Ming Boa had reputation. But you had nothing. You were just another nobody. And that's why I decided to help you. You know, there's an old saying in the Fatui, give a starving dog a bone, and it'll guard your home for the rest of its life.
Yes, I cannot thank you enough for your generous support.
You know, the best thing about you is that you do as you're told without complaining. Hey, keep up the good work, and I can assure you, you'll never have to worry about Mora again. Heck, when you're not in the company of the Fatui, you'll be able to throw your weight around as much as you want. How about that?
Uncle Gao said that Jur-E has low self-esteem. Seems he was right. He was worried that whatever advantage he might have now will diminish over time, so the Fatui persuaded him that he should act while he can. Do you have any more film in the camera? Then get ready to use it. Tonight's grand finale should be coming up any minute now. How well this goes for us depends on how Jur-E plays his hand.
Is there any more alcohol? Go on. Fill me up.
Tadi suaranya
I'm in
kecil
a
ya,
good
ternyata
mood
mic-nya jauh,
today,
gue nggak sadar.
and I'm gonna drink
Sorry,
my
sorry.
fill.
Semoga
Make sure to
suaranya
get
udah
me home
normal.
safely afterward.
There's only a little left. Here, I'll fill your glass. If you like it, I can bring you some more next time.
Whoa, this is the good
Jangan-jangan
stuff.
dia membunuh
It is
orang
great.
senaya ini. Ternyata dia sebenarnya baik, cuma mau ambil kesempatan emas saja dari senaya, tapi dia sebenarnya setia dengan Liyue, nggak mau tunduk sama Fatui. Upsi, mampus loh.
Yi, you
Oh bener kan diracun.
poisoned my wine? But
Ya, tadi
when?
kecil bet gua harus. Oh sorry, bilang dong dari tadi nggak ngomong atuh mah. Tapi sekarang suaranya udah jelas nggak? Sama suara gamenya jelas nggak? Gue jarang stream kan, jadi kayak masih trial and error gitu loh.
I even had to poison my own teacher. You really think I'd put myself through all that just to become your little puppet? I don't want to bow down to anyone ever again. And that includes
Ekspektasi Anda plot twist.
You imbecile. It's the
Tapi
Fatui
bener
who
kan?
got you to
Kenapa
where you
dia
are.
kenapa dia
Do you
ngeracunin
understand?
Yusupov kalau gitu?
If I disappear with no explanation, the embassy will come
Jelas kok
after
sekarang.
you.
Oke, thank
They'll get to
you.
the bottom of this.
Thank you,
Mark
thank you.
my words.
Do you
Mark
see
my
the
words.
haystack
Kirain
in the
ngomong mark
corner?
my words, vengeance
Underneath
will
it is
be
a
mine.
pile of
Enggak ya?
explosives. And next door in the dark room are the 3 undercover agents you sent to infiltrate the Black Cliff Forge. I'm gonna stay here till I see you slip into unconsciousness. Then I'm gonna set this on fire. Once the flames burn through the hay, they'll ignite the explosives.
Mark
The
my
ruins will
words,
collapse,
vengeance
and everything will be
mine.
buried.
Will be buried.
What do you hope to?
I took the liberty of leaving some evidence of your contact with the undercover agents at the Black Cliff Forge. It won't take long for people to join the dots.
Kasus 2 orang
2
hilang.
missing person cases will become 1 as the truth gradually reveals itself.
Oh,
The
berarti dia
Fatui
yang
planted
dicuri bodoh.
undercover agents in the Black Cliff
CJ.
Forge to steal their signature ruin-grade explosives. Their plan was to blow through the solid floor tiles in the dead of night and seize the treasure of Qingshu Pool. But things didn't quite go to plan. Mistakes were made that led to the accidental deaths of the entire crew. Faced with the overwhelming evidence, the embassy won't investigate this any further. In fact, they'll be only too happy to blame it all on a
Karena
rogue
siapa yang mau
operation by
diatur
you.
sama orang lain kalau
It
misalnya.
explains why you
Kalau
acted
yang ngatur
alone,
yang ngasih uang
while
biasanya
exonerating the
mau-mau
rest
aja
of the
sih.
embassy of any liability.
Tinggal
Of course,
kitanya
none of
diuji
that will have anything to do with
kesetiaan
me.
kita sama
When all
kita
of
mau
this
setia
comes to
sama
my
uang
attention,
atau setia sama
I'm afraid
kebenaran
I'll have no
aja.
choice but to cancel the Qingshu Pool redevelopment plan immediately. I guess then I'll be Tianshu in my own right, with a clean record and well out of the Fatui's reach.
Yi, do you really think you're gonna get away with this? The Fatui has a record of everything. That
Diracunin
includes the
nggak mati sih,
poison,
harusnya pakai
all
racun mati
interactions
aja tahu.
between us,
Di goa
even my
terpencil
trip here
begini mah nggak ketahuan
tonight.
jejaknya tuh.
After I die, they'll come looking, and they'll get to the bottom of this.
A record?
Way.
Oh, you must mean the one in the hands of your second in command, Theophan?
How do you know about that?
Diatur itu udah lihat
Because
potensi
when you
buat keluar
contact
dari aturan. Ya berarti
I
bener
also
dong
made
kayak si
contact with
J.
your associates. I have Theophan to
Di
thank
balik
for
rencana
providing
dia
me with
punya
the
rencana
poison I used
sendiri
on you
untuk
today.
membelot dari Fatui.
He'll help me tie up all the loose ends. After all, your untimely
Kayak
demise
dia nyari
comes with a few
kesempatan buat
perks for him.
disponsor, tapi dia nggak mau
He has been
nurut
eyeing
sama
your
yang
position for a
ngesponsorin.
long time now.
That traitor!
Yi,
you!
Relax. It's over.
Atau jangan-jangan
After
J
tonight,
punya rencana
everyone
pribadi
gets what
kayak
they
Eren.
want. And anyone
Dia
else in the
sebenarnya
know is either my
nggak mau
accomplice or about to be
nyatu
taken
sama
out of the
Fatui, nggak
picture.
mau sama Liyue.
Sweet
Tapi
dreams,
dia
Mr.
punya rencana.
Yusupov.
Mantap, vaporize. Balik batu udah kebalik dong. Gila, langsung dilelit datang. Ini cutscene-nya keren gak ya? Gila. Dikepung gak tuh?
I did a little surveying on the way here and found that you'd left yourself 3 escape routes in case things went south.
Buset.
I have them all surrounded. If you're thinking of trying anything, save yourself the effort. The game's up. We were here the whole time and have pictures of everything. They came out pretty nicely. Want to see them?
The game's up? Forgive me, I'm not quite sure what you're referring to, Miss Yelan. I happened to discover a Fatui operation here, so I approached them on the pretext of joining forces and eventually brought them down from within. If it pleases you, Miss Yelan, I'd be only too happy to have you join me in investigating this matter.
This is how you want to play it, huh? Fine. You do you. All we need to do to convict you is establish that the poison in his system is the same as in Uncle Tien's. Nothing else you wanted to add? Let's leave it there then. Time to go.
One wrong move and it all comes crashing down. I should have been more careful. You followed him here, didn't you? I was so focused on keeping myself out of sight, I forgot he was a potential liability. Let's talk about this, Yelan. I gave you my word that I would live up to the Tianshu name, and that much I can still guarantee.
Kalau udah begini caranya, mana mau Yelan ngangkat dia jadi
Your point being?
Paman Tian kalau dikasih
When I
tahu
take
juga enak
office, I
dengarnya.
can guarantee that I will act in your best interests. In
Alah.
fact, all of you here tonight can
Kata-katanya
expect
manis
very
banget, sugar
generous
coating
treatment in
aja.
the future. I don't deny that I used underhanded methods to get here. But given my lowly origins, what other choice did I have?
You still don't get it, do you? What do you think?
Dipikirkan oleh Paman Tian.
Exactly. Jur-E, clever people can always come up with a good excuse. But while you might be able to get other people to believe you, you'll never be able to deceive yourself. There's nothing wrong with wanting to win other people's respect, but when has Uncle Tian ever looked down on you? He was like a teacher and a father to you, but you chose to repay that by poisoning him. Whatever positive goal you may have started out with, you threw it away in that moment.
That's enough.
Of course. What makes this even crueler is that you managed to convince yourself there was no other way. Uncle Tian was always going to give you this opportunity. Even if you'd done nothing at all.
Kadang manis
Out
kata-katanya.
of everyone in the world, he is the
Bahkan
one
kamu
who
yang
trusts you the
laki-laki
most.
mengakui ya.
So much that he drank your fish soup without doubting you, not for 1 second.
That's enough. That's enough.
That's enough.
Life is like fishing. It cannot be rushed. Whatever you do, impatience will accomplish nothing. I was just like you once, desperate to prove myself. Only later did I realize things do not always turn out the way you plan, but you have to keep calm to carry on. You're still young. Be patient, believe in yourself, and don't look outside yourself to prove your value. Where's Jury these days? It's been a long
Anaknya di
time
depan
since he
nanyanya
last
si
paid
Jay.
me a visit.
Maybe he's just busy.
Oh.
Well, next time, if he doesn't
Tapi
bring a
ternyata
pot
deket
of
juga ya
piping
sama
hot
Paman
fish
Tian.
soup, don't let him in.
Whatever you were thinking about, you'll have plenty of time to mull it over in prison. Oh, I almost forgot. If the Fatui find out what happened today, prison might not turn out to be the safest place for you. Trying to have friends on both sides, it has a way of turning everyone against you.
Oh shit,
But right
dalam
now,
banget kata-katanya.
I have an opportunity for you.
Mau ngambil dua pihak tapi dua-duanya memusuhimu. Bener juga. Apain Yelan? Oh.
Sorry, things are about to get extremely busy for me. Let's meet at Yanshang Tea House tomorrow morning. I'll have someone remove the explosives. Then, there's someone I have to go and see.
Cutscene-nya kurang mantep ya.
No, it could be dangerous. You
Soalnya
should leave this one
bukan
to the
soal Yelan
professionals.
gitu loh. Story-nya Yelan, tapi ngomongin tentang orang lain.
Don't
Sama
worry,
kayak story
as long as
zombie.
they're willing to
Ngomongin Dewa
cooperate,
Garam.
this'll be a
Dewi Garam.
straightforward deal.
Bukan
Get some
tentang
rest.
Zhongli
See you tomorrow.
himself. Yap, betul sekali. Tidak mungkin laki-laki tidak punya kata-kata manis. Kata-kata manis sah-sah aja sih. Kita sebagai perempuan mah seneng-seneng aja. Or at least gue. Cuman ya realistis aja sih. Jangan sampai ngablu gimana banget ngomongnya. Asal kata-katanya benar. Tidak ada kebohongan di dalam kata-kata manis tersebut. Alhamdulillah. Jam 8 ya. Untung jam 11 nggak terlalu banyak ininya. Pindahin ya. Iya, story. Iya, maksud gue tuh di beberapa story quest kayak misalkan Ayaka kan tentang diri dia. Yoimiya, Yoimiya enggak. Raiden Shogun yang pertama itu kan kayak ngedate jadinya, ngedate sama Traveler. Terus siapa lagi yang story-nya tentang si karakter itu gitu loh. Nah, berarti si Yelan ini termasuk story yang dia menceritakan tentang dirinya dengan orang lain, bukan dirinya sendiri. Gak kayak Ayaka, Raiden Shogun yang pertama. Siapa lagi ya? Kayak banyak deh yang beneran yang kayak semi-semi ngedate gitu loh. Wih, ternyata Neng sepuh ya. Apa sepuh apanya weh? Oh, tuh ngeliat AR ya tadi ya. Baru naik level tadi pagi. Baru banget naik level ke 59. Ke AR maksudnya. Iya nih udah main dari akhir November 2020. Sepuh nih, senggol dong. Canda deng.
There is now no poison left in his system. But recovery from the damage already done will not happen
Tuh ada
overnight.
Baiju. Kaget gue.
Dr. Baiju, is my father going to be...
You needn't worry too much. Keep taking the prescribed medicine every day, and a full recovery will take at most 2 to 3 years.
Buset, sembuhnya
It's
lama
good
amat.
we caught it in time. A few days later, and the toxin would have built up in the
Oh, dia juga
internal
baru sadar
organs.
ada
At that
racun
point,
di dalam tubuhnya.
things would have been
Waduh.
much more serious.
How did they successfully secure such a seldom seen poison?
Emang
It seems
Rizky
the Fatui
mainnya
are
kapan dan
extremely
AR berapa sekarang?
resourceful. Unfortunately for them, they were up against us.
Uncle Tian will be heading off now. Remember to get plenty of rest and avoid overexerting yourself while you're recovering. Don't worry, I will.
Sebenarnya antara sepuh sama nganggur beda tipis sih. Itu kayak istilah nganggur tapi dibalut dengan pujian aja sih sepuh. Nggak
You're
ada
here
kerjaan,
too?
tiap hari onnya
Thank
Genshin,
you for
daily
all you've done to
doang,
resolve this situation.
event, ada.
I'll have to make some tea in a moment. You simply have to try it. Yes, the exhaustion seems to have gone. My mind is steadily getting clearer again.
Luckily, it looks like choosing the Tianshu's successor is suddenly not such a pressing issue after all.
Waduh. Hey, Yelan.
My work is mostly wrapped up, so I thought I'd take a minute to check in here. The assessment process comes to an end here, Uncle Tian. In my opinion, Zhi is not suitable for the position. But Qianwei and Mingbo both have potential.
You have my gratitude. People can change their loyalties easily. I've always known this. But whenever it happens, it's still a dismal experience.
Jarang banget lihat cewek main. Tahu mana yang harus di-build, bukan lihat dari lucu. Banyak kok cewek
Don't
main
underestimate
dan
Uncle
paham build
Tian.
juga.
He wouldn't have appointed
Pak,
me as a
maksudnya
specimen
gue juga nggak
officer if he
paham-paham
hadn't
banget
had
sih,
his
maksudnya
doubts
apa
about
tuh, tapi
Zhi.
cuman basic
Normally,
apa
the UI
basic
Pavilion would be
knowledge
responsible
about
for assessing the
building
candidates.
karakter
Isn't
kayak
that right,
game-game
Uncle Tian?
MMORPG yang lain sih
Yes,
gue
to be
paham. Karena
quite
gue dulu
honest,
sebelumnya main game kan.
I wanted
Dari
to
kecil
trust
lah
him
udah main game online.
unreservedly. But I have to be
Dan kalau
responsible
cewek,
with the position of Tianxu.
bahkan uniknya Genshin itu
First met
sepupu-sepupu gue
Yuri,
tuh yang awalnya
I
bukan gamer
wondered if
dia
he
jadi
had
main
approached
Genshin
me
sih.
with a hidden
Biasanya itu dari karena K-pop segala macem.
so I secretly
Fun fact,
investigated.
K-popper juga pada main Genshin
I
sih katanya.
concluded that he
Jadi
had no
ya
ulterior
wajar sih
motives whatsoever.
community-nya jadi gede
He
banget
just
sih
saw me
Genshin
as
sih.
an ordinary fishing friend. In the end, even he changed.
Awal November juga ya? Sebenarnya gue
when did
dari
it
akhir
start?
Oktober mainnya, cuman tuh kayak cuman beberapa hari doang, soalnya nggak betah dengerin ceritanya, jujur aja. Akhir Oktober main, terus cuman mainnya kayak cuman sekali-sekali doang, baru aktif lagi November. Jadi jarak gue antara dapet Ember sama Keia itu sebulan. Iya, nggak langsung dimainin. Fun fact. Yoi, fun fact.
I never had any plans to recommend him directly, but I always intended to give him
Tapi
the chance
sebenarnya
to
kalau mau
compete
cari
on a
cewek
level
yang
playing
paham
field.
build Genshin tuh banyak.
Family background and
Mungkin
fame
nggak
mean
kelihatan aja
everything to many
circle-nya.
people.
Soalnya teman-teman gue
I don't attach
cewek
great
banyak yang
importance to
main
them.
dan mereka paham.
I had no reputation to speak
Ada
of when
kalau
I
mau
first
nyari mah
became Tianxu.
cewek mah
I
banyak yang
relied
main,
on
cuman nggak
Ganyu's
kelihatan aja.
assistance for
Antara
all
malu,
manner of things.
pertama tuh cewek gamers tuh nggak kelihatan karena malu
What I
pertama.
really admired
Kedua tuh
about
takut
Yuri
digodain.
was his intelligence and resilience.
I have to admit, he's a smart guy and very cautious. The intel suggests that the Fatui saw him as very low risk, but Zhi was still extremely careful
Hari
with the
pertama rilis
poisoning.
nggak bisa
He
install
chose that
gara-gara
specific
viral.
liquor from Xinhui
Kasihan.
kiosk because the fiery flavor would
Padahal
mask the
gue
bitterness
ikut
of the poison.
praregisnya loh,
And
cuman
he chose to wait
akunnya
until the
nggak
Fatui
dapet
official was
itunya.
drunk
Karena
and had his
gue nggak
guard down
langsung
before
on
delivering
gitu
it
loh.
to him.
Maksudnya udah
He
online tapi
also
nggak
installed a
langsung ke
secret compartment in the wine
itu kan kita
party
baru
pot
dapet
to
message
hold
itu kan
the
pas di
poison.
ruangannya Jin ya,
As the amount of
yang
liquor
ketemu
went
Jin
down,
sama Lisa
he'd
tuh.
shake the
Nah
pot
gue
to
nggak sampai
release the
situ
poison
sayangnya,
from the
akun gue yang
compartment into the liquor.
didaftarin ke praregis.
Afterwards,
Sedih
he also
banget,
thought he
jadi
had
nggak
an
dapet
antidote
hadiah
on him.
aja.
Had
Jadi
the Fatui
ini
official
hitungannya
grown
akun baru.
suspicious, Zhi would have
Dulu
drunk
juga
the
mainnya di
poisoned
HP
wine
sih, terus
himself, and
pindah
then
ke
found an
PC. Waktu
opportunity
itu
to
baru
take
beli
the
laptop
antidote
kan,
shortly
akhirnya download
afterwards.
Genshin.
But that's still really dangerous.
Yes. Had he drunk the poisonous wine, he still would have faced serious health consequences despite taking the antidote. He didn't hesitate to put himself in harm's way to achieve his goal.
Kasihan Paman Tian
How
ditipu
is
orang kepercayaan.
Jerry now?
Dan masih aja nanya keadaan Jie, dia udah di bawah tanah di
I mean,
penjara kali.
He's
Tuh kan.
sitting in a jail cell. Like Yanfei says, everyone who breaks the law has to pay the
Hahaha.
price. Still,
Mampus lo.
he's cooperating. He didn't turn down my offer to strike a deal. I'll make sure there are plenty of guards around to keep him safe from anything the Fatui might be planning.
A deal? Does this have to do with what you said to him when you arrested him?
Yes, Zhi's not the one I'm interested in. If he was as far as this went, I'd have handed the case off to my subordinates as soon as I
Udah muak
realized.
sama Circle Genshin
But
dibully.
once the Fatui
Emang nanyanya di
became
mana?
involved,
Salah build
things
apa
got a
emang?
whole lot more
Spill dong,
interesting.
spill ceritain.
I
Curhat
thought I
dong di
might have
sini.
the chance to catch a big fish.
Kalau di
did
Facebook
you?
sih community-nya kurang
Almost.
ajar sih ya, jujur aja.
Unfortunately, it slipped off the hook at the last second.
Gue salah akun login malah. Anjir, bukan akun yang kedaftar. Sedih banget. Ya udah gak apa-apa, berarti kita tim yang gak dapet hadiah pas praregis lah ya.
Or, to put
Ya
it the other
udahlah,
way around,
udah level
the
59
Fatui
anyway.
made an attempt to interfere in the Tianshu selection process. With Yusupov in our hands and a statement from Zhi, we could afford to continue with a diplomatic offensive. Also, we'd be able to gain control of Theophan, Yusupov's second in command. Then we'd have a pawn in the ranks of the Fatui. Pawns like this can be major
Kalau gue
assets.
lihat tuh kalau
open up
di
all sorts of
Facebook,
new
community di Facebook itu cenderung cowok yang main. Terus kan kadang ya infonya bermanfaat sih, misalkan info-info banner, nggak banner, info build, minta saran build segala macam. Cuman paling di komennya ada aja 1-2 yang toxic. Dan itu cukup ngeganggu. Nah kalau di Twitter biasanya tuh mereka community-nya ngumpul di akun bot. akun base Genshin gitu, dan rata-rata yang gue lihat tuh mereka cewek. Dan yang gue sebel sama kalau yang di Twitter ya, kalau di Twitter tuh nanyanya sok polos, kayak apa sih? Masa waktu itu gue pernah jadi di akun Manifest Genshin itu ada yang nanya, dia nanya build-nya Zhongli, terus di caption-nya dia nanya gini, kan dia nge-screenshot si statusnya Zhongli itu kan, dia nanya, guys, Zhongli kalau dev segini bagus gak ya? Apa kurang? Terus pertama, Zhongli itu scale-nya itu bukan dev. Kedua, dia nge-screenshot HP Zhongli itu 50.000. Terus pada nggak ke-trigger kan? Terus di orang-orang di sana pada marah-marah kayak mau sok-sok pamer, sok nanya tapi mau pamer segala macam, bla 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 segala macam. Akhirnya ribut lah di situ. Fandom FB emang sih keterlaluan. Makanya udah males sih makin hari kayak. Terus juga di grup ofisialnya kayak moderatornya juga udah kewalahan sih buat ngefilter itu semua. Maksudnya kalau postingan, misalkan postingan yang toksik ya, postingan yang toksik tuh masih bisa difilter, meskipun kadang ada aja yang lolos kan. Tapi yang nggak bisa kekontrol kan komen sebenarnya. Emang mereka mau baca satu-satu.
Why else did you think I was investing so much time and effort into this case?
So, okay, well, did your plan succeed?
We got halfway. The first part went off without a hitch, and we passed all the information on to Lady Ningguang. But when we tried to make contact with Theophan, he was gone, along with all the evidence.
The Fatui must be spying on us. Otherwise, they'd never been able to respond so quickly.
I found out from other sources that the Harbinger, the Fatui's main
Aduh, ya
forces are
kelewatan dong.
concentrated here.
Ya orang mau skip
The Greater was
tulisannya, ya
only
Allah.
treating this as a
Sedih.
peripheral concern. It's a pity that Theophan got away. But knowing which Harbingers are still looking at Liyue is something.
Alah.
It gives me a starting point for my next mission.
I have to ask, Yelan, do you have any desire to take over the position of Tianshu yourself?
Ditawarin.
I remember you showed some interest a few days ago at Yenshang Tea House. In my estimation, you are more
iya
than
mending Yelan, woy.
Oh, that. I was obviously joking.
Oh,
I prefer my current life. There's danger and there's excitement.
kamu lebih suka di bawah
Although it'd
tanah
still be
ya,
a
Yelan.
behind-the-scenes role. As Tianshu, I wouldn't have the chance to get involved in anything
Iya sih.
truly clandestine
Makanya
or
agak
facing
aneh
real
kok
danger.
pas quest di Yelan kok di
I'm done
Liyue
here.
Harbor
Time for me to
semua,
go.
kirain bakal
I'm
di
heading off again in a few
Kazem
days and I still have to
gitu kan.
prepare.
Ternyata
Where
tuh.
are you off to this time?
As you might have guessed, it's for me to know and you to find out.
Kazem lah.
But I'm sure if you keep going as you are, getting yourselves involved in other people's business all the time, you're sure to get caught up in another
Nyindirnya kena
misadventure
banget ke
before too
Traveler.
long. Maybe I'll see you the next time danger beckons. Until then, keep your wits about you. A lot of people are watching you for a lot of reasons.
Alhamdulillah.
If you have any more questions, just ask Uncle Tian. After the recent...
Selesai juga akhirnya. Aku nanya knowledge diminishing returns dari ya kak pakai midfielder gue suruh dibikin naik ke Tekken Plus aja. Tapi gimana nyuruhnya, beneran kayak ngegas gitu atau ngasih saran? Susah juga sih ceritain ya kalau dari satu sisi. Tapi intinya yang paling kesel sih yang tengil sih ya kata-katanya yang beneran kita nanya. Terus yang satu tuh ngejawabnya tapi sambil ngerendahin build yang kita punya. Keterlaluan pamer 50 ke HP Zhongli berkedok tanya. Iya terus yang bikin kesel tuh dia bukan nanya HP-nya, dia nanya dev-nya Zhongli buat apa, kayak dev kayak 1000-an apa seberapa gitu kan. Kan Zhongli nggak pakai dev, kan gue kesel baca aja. Gitu deh. Jadi kadang-kadang kalau di manifest Twitter tuh jadi kita nggak tahu kita nggak bisa bedain beneran yang beneran nanya atau nanya berkedok pamer. Tapi kasihannya jadi semua kita sama ratain. Oh lu pamer doang lu. Nanya-nanya ini lu nanya pamer berkedok nanya gitu-gitulah. Gitu deh. Susah ya kalau fanbase-nya besar begini. Lu mau ngapain ya? Okay, know what? Bentar, kayaknya enak deh kalau nyelesain. Oh, Arataki paling hebat, paling keren. Si itu di Archon Quest paling badut sih emang. Tapi lucu, kayak everyone loves Arataki itu. Don't you agree? Bentar, oh ya gue mau ke ini.
Time to go.
Ad Astra Abyssos. Welcome to the Adventures Guild. Terus adalah di Genshin community di Facebook ngata-ngatain English voice actor. Ya udah lo kalau mau pakai Jepang kagak ada yang larang, tapi nggak usah ngejelek-jelekin yang ngomong yang pakai bahasa Inggris lah. Rese banget aja. Paling superior banget dah yang pakai Jepang. Gue aja kuliah sastra Jepang tapi pakainya English VA. Orang-orang pada nanya. Tapi gimana, emang lebih selera ya kan, nggak bisa diatur ya. Lebih suka, lebih prefer yang bahasa Inggris, mau dikata apa ya? Jepang. Ya direndahin gitu salah satu kalimat yang gue inget. Lalu pemuja CDM apa gimana, air gede tapi build masih salah, gimana sih? Gue main doang, gue tau gak sih itu? Butthurt aja deh. Butthurt banget yang itu yang ngomong. Orang pure nanya mah dikasih tahu baik-baik, bukan yang ngerendahin. Malah kok lu nggak tahu sih gini-gini? Ya emang nggak tahu, makanya gue nanya. Sebenarnya kan sesimpel itu ya logikanya. Ya gue nggak tahu, makanya gue nanya ke sini. Lu nggak usah memperjelas alasan gue nanya. Penyepung JP. Di bawah Wang Shuin ada World Quest. Baru kah? Baru update 27 ini. 2.7. Serius. Bukan resep ya? Resep atau apa? Let me see. Nggak ada tuh. Wah, bohong lu ya. Ini Wang Shuin kan, ntar gue salah. Atau udah lama kali yang resep ya. Yang resep itu kan nggak ada tuh. Padahal gue ke Wang Shuin cuma mau nyari Xiao. Ada Xiao nggak ya? Salah. Nyangkut. Yang bawah bukan di dapur. Oh, di luarnya. Di luar Wang Shuin-nya. Really? Ya Allah, jatuh lagi. Mau nyari Xiao. Show. Update to show. Jatuh lagi. Bodoh amat. Sembrono banget anjir. Bentar ya, pelan-pelan ya sayang ya. Sayang pelan-pelan. Nggak jadi, ya udah. Emang nggak ada kali Xiao-nya ya, nggak usah dilihat deh. Udah 3 kali jatuh. 4 kayaknya. Yang bawah bukan di dapur. Oke. Di tempat makannya ya? Di sini bukan? Di mananya Rizky? Oh iya. Yay. Mana tuh? Oh sini. Oh bukan nih. Mirip si itu yang orang Fontaine bajunya. Ngomong apa? Tidak begitu paham. Bicara dengan Garcia. Garcia. Tahu ah. Kita harus temukan orang ketiga untuk jadi saksi. Waduh. Saya yakin bahwa setidaknya. Oke. Loh, Rezi, bisa loh bikin ya. Bisa loh. Biar ku jelaskan dulu. Semoga kalian mau ambil ya. Oke. Padahal konteksnya jelas gue nanya, masih aja direndahin kayak gitu. Ya, kita nggak bisa ngontrol mulut orang, jadi lebih baik kita ngontrol diri kita sendiri. Itu self reminder buat gue sendiri sih sebenarnya. Ya kadang-kadang gondok lah pastilah itu mah. Orang nanya baik-baik, diituin ngegas. Cuman kalau mau positive thinking ya mungkin dia maksudnya nggak kayak gitu, mungkin. Soalnya kan kita nggak bisa tahu intonasi orang dari dari tulisannya doang kan. Ya nggak ada yang tahu lah. Atau mungkin emang kayak tai aja orangnya. Kalau di internet ngeselin aja, udah itu aja sih. Dia juga belum tentu mikirin kata-kata dia sendiri kok. Resep radish veggie soup. Lagi Jawa. Aduh, aku terlalu males untuk membacanya. Aku mau Primo Jam. AR gede tapi nggak ngerti build. Ya gimana, kan nggak harus apa, AR gede kan belum tentu dari, ya AR gede kan dari jalanin quest, terus ngapain lagi daily, kan cuma dari quest. AR gede tuh bukan dari spiral abis woy. Paham gak maksud gue? AR apa, EXP dari AR tuh didapetin dari quest gitu-gitu, bukan dari spiral abis. Kalau misalkan build gak paham build ya wajar sebenarnya, ya kan? Ya gak sih? Jadi ya lupain aja lah. Kayak yang gue bilang tadi, dia juga belum tentu paham sama kata-kata dia sendiri, belum tentu mikirin apa yang dia omongin ke orang lain. Today's recommendation is the steak. Terus gue out dah dari DC selama-lama satu circle. Oh, itu yang ngomongnya di Discord. Discord apa ya kalau boleh tahu? Ada official Indonya nggak sih di Discord? Kayaknya nggak ada ya. Kayak grup apa? Server random aja ya di Discord. Kayak penyuka Genshin gitu, berkumpul. Sebenarnya kalau mau lebih bijak kayak itunya tahu admin servernya. Dibikin aturan lebih ketat lagi. Biar nggak ada orang yang gampang buat hurt. Padahal kita main game ya, pengen pelarian dari dunia nyata, pengen seneng-seneng, dibuat stres sama orang-orang begitu. Ya, capek. Radish veggie soup. Udah di luar aja. Yup, cuman server random, mau bikin aturan gimana, satu circle sama admin tetap kalah, kita orang baru. Ya susah kalau udah di Discord udah lama satu circle pula. Susah sih. Tapi emang sih kalau lebih enak tuh join Discord tuh awal-awal dibangun tau. Kalau menurut gue ya. Jadi kita bisa keep in touch sama orang-orangnya dan kita bisa welcomein. Kalau misalkan kita friendly ya, kita bisa welcomein orang baru. Kalau Discord yang baru berkembang gitu. Dan kalau misalkan kita udah out, bukan out, apa? Misalkan kita udah lama gak nongol di satu server itu, pasti dicariin kita karena kita dianggapnya orang lama. Ini pengalaman gue pribadi ya, mungkin bisa beda di setiap orang. Gue dulu gitu, salah kan? Gue join Discord salah satu streamer di YouTube, Indo. Terus waktu itu pas itu dia bener-bener masih mentah gitu kan, Discordnya kayak masih baru jadi banget. Kalau yang join juga masih 13 orang. Terus kayak gue say hi segala macam. Akhirnya gue ikut voice chat di sana, kenal sama beberapa teman-teman dan akhirnya ya udah deh jadi punya teman baru. Untung teman-temannya baik sih ya. Nah terus pas udah lama gak nongol, dipanggil, di mention di chatnya. Padahal aku orangnya family friendly. Family friendly. Ngapain ya? Wih, mau penuh nih resinnya. Ups. Oh, dikit lagi. Ya udahlah, yang penting kitanya jangan kayak begitu. Paling gampang sebenarnya. Kalau kita dijahatin sama orang, kita jangan jahat ke orang lain. Sedih. Anjrot, resinnya mau tumpe-tumpe. Nih countdown nih. Resin countdown nih. 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Terot, penuh. Oke, kita langsung isi resinnya. Countdown gak tuh? Let's go. Mau kemana ya enaknya? Sebenarnya pengen cari artefak show yang baru di Kazem. Lebih bagus 2 Fury 2 itu atau artefak baru ya? Aku pakai ini sih. Masih penasaran sama artefak baru, pengen nyoba. Jadi kayak apa namanya? Pengen nguli aja sih sekalian ngabisin resin. Energi Richard anjir. Tapi nggak apa-apa sih. Ini sih yang bete anjir. Susah nyari itu Fury. Crit damage Fury. Gue pemuja CDM tapi ya kali gue nggak tahu tentang diminishing return. Sebenarnya diminishing return tuh apa sih? Gue nggak tahu. Siapa? Can you explain? Makanya yang kayak gue bilang tadi, gue paham build, sekedar paham karena gue main game MMORPG aja, bukan karena gue main Genshin. Jadi kayak sebatas attack dev HP. Terus kalau di MMO ada Eva, masa nggak paham sih? Ngerti nggak maksud gue? Diminishing return. Aduh. Genshin. Temen 4 million sih bagus-bagus aja. Mabuk attack. Bagus dong kalau attack-nya tinggi. Waduh, gue dikatain pemuja attack gak nih ntar? Bagus dong kalau attack-nya tinggi. ganti ke ini si Toma. Aku butuh Toma sih, honestly. Jian, bingung kan atur build-nya.
Let the wind lead.
Ganti ini aja nggak sih? Mana sih si Thomas Alva Edison?
Where we headed this time?
Gini kah? Si Thomas sama Shaw buat itu sih daily apa? XP company. Phew. Prepare to die. Anjay.
Shine down. Barbados, guide us.
Lament. Berisik banget. I'm so sorry.
Worthless. Here. Here.
Useless. Wind, hear me. Illusion shattered. Torn to oblivion.
Berisik.
Supporting fire.
Shing.
Evil conquering.
Sayang sih tapi anyway. I don't care. Diminishing returns tuh kayak gini, punya attack 2,1, CR 70, crit 70 per 220, terus dibandingin sama 2,5 attack, CR. Lebih besar mana kira-kira damage-nya? Yang pertama nggak sih? Hitung-hitungan bodoh gue aja sih. Lebih gede yang 70, 220 nggak? Meskipun attack-nya cuma 2,1. Bisa di diminishing return kecuali emang kurang attack. Oh pokoknya intinya kayak attack-nya terbatas, ada limitasi attack ya, jadi kayak nggak full attack dikeluarin bras apaan sih ya gitu nggak sih maksudnya? Oh ya gue paham. Pokoknya intinya attack yang dipunyai sama satu karakter tuh nggak sepenuhnya terpakai lah kasarnya, gitu nggak sih?
Shine down. Useless.
Agak sakit. Aduh, gimana?
Wind, hear me.
Aduh, sakit.
Lament. Worthless. Here.
Oh, gue lebih fokus yang CR-nya sama-sama 70 ya. Gue pikir ya rate-nya kan sama-sama 70%, gue pikir. Oh ya. Selesai 2 basic game memang itu juga penting, tapi stabil. Mati dong, gak kelihatan. Sambil baca chat. So, I'm so sorry.
I swear by my sword.
Tadi mungkin gue bisa cari lebih lanjut soal diminishing returns. Gue sering denger istilah game kayak gini, tapi gue kayak nggak mau nyari tahu gitu loh, takut stres aja. Kayak, aduh, I need to follow the trend lah, but I don't want to. Jadi akhirnya gue lebih kayak bodo amat. I don't want to know anything. Aneh.
There is no escape.
Tetot. Lah, krayo lagi dong. Buset. Tadi krayo, sekarang krayo. 400% mentok penambahan. Oh, oke. Dan mungkin gue lebih jelas kayak lebih enak baca sendiri sih, soalnya sambil ini kurang konsen sejujurnya. Ayo sini lo semua. Sini lo semua anjir.
Evil conquering. Here. Worthless. Illusion shattered, torn to oblivion.
Dulu main Genshin gak pernah mikir gini. Sekarang malah susah gara-gara mikir gini. Setuju gue. Sedikit banyak kita terpengaruh sama orang pemuja status. Apa istilahnya kalau status tuh? Oh, gue lupa sih. Ya itulah, sama stat karakter. Ya dulu mau gue kalau nguli artefak substatnya nggak pernah dipikirin, udah gas aja, yang penting 20-in dulu artefaknya. Mana kepikiran harus yang naik ina inu. Yang penting kita mah happy mainnya. Wih. Oke, meskipun flat semua, but I gonna keep it. Ini apa nih? Awas saya kok kerayo lagi. Oh, dev. Jelek banget. I'm gonna keep it anyway.
Illusion shattered. Here's backup. Barbados, guide us. Lament. Worthless. 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 I swear by my sword. Shine down.
Aduh sakit.
Inazuma shines eternal.
Inazuma shines eternal. Ayo Shogun, let's go.
There is no escape. Boring.
Di. Nah, gitu dong.
Illusion shattered. Go as planned.
Phew. Jarang banget lihat dub Inggris. Ya gimana? Ya wajar, maksudnya wajar lah orang pada pakai Jepang. Kan pasti mereka karena berasa nonton anime segala macam. Gue dulu diajak main Genshin gara-gara temen gue bilang, gak apa-apa main Genshin kan rasanya kayak nonton anime aja. Karena ya dia pakai bahasa Jepang. Gue langsung ngikut default ya pakai bahasa Inggris, terus kayak enakan. Tapi emang lu sendiri pakai apa dubbingnya? Pakai Inggris apa Jepang? Enggak deh.
Reduced to just standing around. How absurd.
Hujan nggak Kak? Di sini hujan di Bandung. Oh, di Jakarta nggak hujan nih, cerah nih. Tapi kemarin-kemarin hujan sih, ada hujan gede juga. Kayak sore menjelang malam gitu hujan. Gue dapet Korea. Oke. Itu lebih langka lagi dari Inggris gue rasa. Tapi temen-temen gue ada yang pakai Korea sih. Dan he is a K-popper. So yeah. Wajar. Ngapain lagi nih quest? Apa eventnya ngapain ya, penasaran? Wah, apa kabar sob? Sob nggak tuh? kamu pasti sudah kangen sama kita ketemu di kasus. Sama dong kayak aku, malah pas aku punya ide aja langsung kepikiran kamu. Lucu banget sih. Buat ngerayain kelulusannya Shinobu, nunjukin kehebatan geng Arataki, aku sudah sewa lokasi strategis di Rito buat ngadain festival drum Arataki yang paling hebat, yang paling keren. Itu gimana, mantap, tegap, penasaran ku jamin festival ini lebih ramai dari Irodori. Nggak yakin gue, dan lebih keren dari Renter. Paling yang datang juga cuman geng-gengnya doang. Setelah dunia bakal tahu tentang kehebatan kamu sudah kuundang ya, kita main sepuasnya, nyanyi, adu kumbang, panggang lavender melon, pasti dia sabarkan, cepat merapat ke Rito, aku tunggu kamu di sana. Shinobu yang lavender melon ngapain dibahas, kesannya culun nih. Ya astaga, aku bilang gak usah. Yang ini. Ya kenapa sih gue receh banget sih gitu dong.
Oh, brother.
Kebiasaan main Seven Night soalnya dapet. Oh, Seven Night tuh apa? Game RPG juga? Atau apa game gacha juga? Langsung hilang. Berisik sih Paimon. Rito.
Heimat's looked everywhere, but there doesn't seem to be a festival going on anywhere near here.
Sudah kuduga memang.
The atmosphere isn't festive at all.
Turn-based tapi tetap game gacha. Oh, basically gacha ya.
They'll know something.
Kayaknya Genshin game gacha pertama gue deh, dan game RPG yang paling gue maniakin, salah satu.
Oh, do you need a hand with anything? What? A festival?
Festival?
I haven't heard anything about a festival
BTW
coming
nggak
up.
Bos Weekly.
Could you
Udah belum
be
ya?
more specific?
Kemarin deh. Belum.
What are you talking
Nanti
about
aja.
exactly?
Ntar deh. Udah ngabisin resin baru nanya. Kocak. Tapi gue weekly juga nggak Senin sih biasanya. Atau sejak penundaan 2.7 gue udah nggak weekly lagi sih, udah males.
Almighty Arataki.
Udah agak menurun nih antusiasmenya main Genshin soalnya kebanyakan filler. Ups.
It's the almighty Arataki great and glorious Drummelon
Dari dulu suka judi. Oh itu lo ya?
Ah, yes.
Aku sih tidak.
The same
Baru kali ini
Arataki gang
doang.
who made a scene at the Irodori Festival. So you're here for the unauthorized, unprofessional, and unofficial event, huh?
Unprofessional.
No, it's not anything. It's the almighty Arataki great and glorious Drummelon Festival.
Yeah, I gotcha. No need to keep rehashing the name. I think I know what this is about. Let me bring you up to speed. So we saw the members of the Arataki gang here a few days ago, and they were busy at work
Udah
leaving piles
kebanyakan
of
research
hideous
sekali
things
kok
all over
males
the place.
weekly. Maybe.
Their leader
Kayaknya
claimed to be hosting
sih.
a grand event, big enough
Dan
to rival the Irodori Festival. I think that
apa
must be the one
toh
you're talking
material
about.
talent yang gue butuhin kan yang material yang lama-lama kan. Soalnya belakangan gue juga udah nggak nge-pull char-char baru lagi nih, udah nggak nge-pull kayak Miko, kayak Yelan gitu-gitu udah nggak kan. Gue cuman nge-pull rerun. Yang pertama tuh gue narik si Yula, terus gue kedua Xiao. Jadi gue nggak ada resource. Gue nggak butuh resource yang baru lagi. Jadi kayak udah mager weekly sih. Kayak Xiao kan kayak udah dari berapa ratus tahun yang lalu pasti udah kekumpul lah resource-nya. Paling duitnya aja sih yang kurang buat nge-crownin dia.
I asked them a couple of questions, and it quickly became clear that they had no permit to host the event, no proof of venue hire, and surprise, surprise, no record of having registered the event with
Sudah
the police
kuduga
station.
memang itu yang paling
If
kepedean.
that isn't the definition of an unauthorized, unprofessional, and unofficial festival, I don't know what is. According to the rules, we had to force them to shut down the event.
Oh no, jadi
What? You shut it down? Let Paimon guess. Then you arrested them.
No, actually. Seeing that they had no prior experience organizing events and they'd at least gone to the trouble of preparing a safety plan, we just gave them a warning.
Safety plan? Huh. That's pretty responsible.
Masalah Mora gue cuma
Anyway, if you're looking
2.000.
for the
Oh no.
Arataki gang, you could try going to Amakane Island,
Mora terdikit lo
which is
berapa
a
yo?
venue designated by the Yashiro Commission for
Gue
use
sih
in
di
all kinds
bawah
of festivals,
gope
big and small.
alias cuma
It was established to try and encourage
215
community
perak.
cultural events.
Mora
The
terkecil
application
tuh waktu
process
itu
is much
nge-build
simpler there
Zhongli
and
tuh kalau
less
nggak salah
expensive
tuh.
too.
Ingat banget.
We told the Arataki gang about that. If they still want to host their event, that's going to be their best option.
This whole thing is starting to sound like a non-starter.
Mora gue berapa ya? Kayak udah ratusan ribu udah balik lagi deh. Tadi kemarin sempet itu sih ke Laylain kuning.
Fingers crossed he comes traveling with me.
Oh no 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 sama kami. Dua Mora. Gila. Mendekati 0. Beli apa-apa juga nggak laku. Itu 2 Mora buat apa anjir? Mora gue berapa ya? Ini tuh. Oh, 2 juta. Ini bukan kedok mau pamer Primogem ya. Primogem gue juga sedikit anjir. Soalnya kemarin sempet tinggal ratusan ribu gara-gara nge-build talentnya Xiao kan. Terus kemarin gue ya Laylain kuning lumayan banyak. Jadi udah kekumpul lagi 2 jutaan.
The Arataki gang is nowhere in sight. There should be a Yashiro Commission representative here. Let's go and ask him.
How can I help?
2 juta. 2,5 juta tuh kecil ya. Nge-build satu karakter aja bisa 5 juta ke atas loh. Ya oke, around 5 juta deh. Jadi 2,5 tuh prep.
Yes.
Kayak
You must be
diludahin lo
here
sama
for the
karakter-karakter
almighty
Genshin kalau
Arataki,
cuma ngasih 2 juta.
Festival too. Yep. Madam Kujo Sara of the Tenryo Commission and Yoimiya of Naganohara Fireworks have both been here so far. Yoimiya noticed them getting the venue ready when she was here to deliver some fireworks. I guess she got curious and went to go check it out. As to what Madam Kujo Sara was here for, I'm not quite sure.
Whoa, so other people got here before us? Oh, that's a good sign. So, where's the Arataki gang now?
Unfortunately, since there's no space available at any official venues at the moment, we had to allocate them to a tiny beach at the northwest
Buset,
part of the island.
dipindah-pindahin, kasihan banget sih.
If only they'd applied earlier, we could have given them a better location. Head northwest. You'll see them.
Kasihan mau bikin festival tapi diulur-ulur. Oh, di sini juga. Kirain dipindahin ke tempat lain. Nah, itu dia Arataki Gang. Halo.
Hey there, compadres! You finally made it!
Yang tersayang gak tuh?
I was just wondering when you'd be showing up. Next thing I know, boom, there you are! Oh boy, am I happy to see you. Look at this venue. What do you think? Is this a prime location or what?
Anjay.
It's surrounded by sea. The venue is situated against the backdrop of Amakane Island, where you can enjoy exclusive access to the festival and culture center's
Gue paling
first-rate
males
equipment.
Leyline, sayang gitu
With
buat farming
excellent
artefak.
transport links by
Dapet
sea
bagus nih
and
daripada
land,
online.
getting where you need to be is highly convenient, whether you're traveling by foot or by boat.
Ya gimana ya kalau mau enhance artefak juga butuh Mora. Jadi semuanya saling berkesinambungan. Kalau gue nggak sayang karena gue kayak udah sering resin tumpah-tumpah sih. Kayak pernah 2-3 hari nggak online karena males gitu. Udah kayak yang gue bilang tadi, antusiasmenya menurun. Udah mager. Jadi buat ngabisin ke Laylan ya lumayan lah. Daripada bocor kan resinnya.
It was the moment that changed the world.
mengalihkan dunia.
Give it up for...
Clearly you're only here because the Tenryo Commission sent you away.
All right, let's get down to business. I invited you all here to attend the almighty Arataki Great and Glorious Drum-Along Festival! A highly important festival, I might add.
Yeah, boss said the first goal of the festival is to promote the Arataki gang and recruit new members. Secondly, it's to celebrate Shinobu's graduation. And last but not least, it makes up for all the previous team-building events that were canceled due to insufficient funding.
3 festivals in one? Wow.
Akira, we can leave that last point out from now on.
Terlalu jujur.
The thing with festivals is, you gotta get out there and promote them far and wide if you want to get a good crowd. So,
Awalnya
Shinobu's
gue
handing out
kira tuh
flyers.
Shinobu tuh sama anehnya kayak itu tau.
Supposed to be the star of the show, isn't she?
Ternyata dia yang paling normal mah gue rasa.
While you're hanging around here doing nothing.
Hey, I'm hard at work too. I'm entertaining guests.
Boss actually just got back. He said he was expecting you to arrive any second, so he came back specially to welcome you.
Ya aduh.
Until then, he was out there with Shinobu
Buset,
working hard to bring
5.000.
more people to the festival.
Really, bro?
Just doing my duty. Nothing more, nothing less.
Wow. This book
Buset
chapter
tuh,
actually did
5.000.
some serious
Gue
work
gak
for
pernah
once.
punya item 5.000 di
I'm
Genshin.
pleasantly surprised.
Ya paling grindingan
Trust a
monster.
puny little
Bukan
flying
batu.
lavender melon to stoop to the level of childish name-calling. Anyway, so, compadre, you got any questions about this festival?
Mana nih?
Oh, you mean... Yeah, I
Tengku
hesitated, but,
sialan.
I sent her an
Kasih
invitation.
terpaksa dong.
I
Kayak
cannot
sundere deh.
believe how ungrateful she is. Get this, she came all the way out here just to put up a bulletin board and write a lot about and claiming that visitors need to be
Aduh,
cautioned.
Sarah.
She even
Kujo
warned us
Sarah.
not to change it. It's blatant bullying of the gang, that's what it is. One day, I'm gonna defeat that Tengu fair and square in broad daylight in the middle of the street. She'll get what's coming to her. Anyway, so, compadre, you got any questions about this festival?
Udah ketebak Shinobu yang paling normal di tim. Tapi orang normal tuh biasanya ogah gak sih kalau leadernya aneh kayak itu gitu? Gue sih mikirnya gitu ya. Gue sih jadi Shinobu ogah banget gabung sama itu yang kayak gila kepedeannya tingkat kabupaten aja. Dong kalau dulu sekarang males.
The owner of Naganohara Fireworks? Chatting with her is a real blast. She only found out about our festival because she happened to be delivering some fireworks to Amakane Island.
Bete deh, itu yang typo, sering banget typo aja.
She even said she'll provide some fireworks
Bahasa
for us next
Indonesianya,
time.
subtitle
Looks like the
Indonesia
Arataki gang should make sure to keep good ties with Naganohara Fireworks in the future. Anyway, so, compadre, you got any...
Tidak.
A ton of totally awesome stuff. See that hill over there?
Apalagi itu dulu
That's
sebelum
Sing-Along
rilis
Hill.
lah, kayak
Stand at the
digadang-gadang
top, look
sebagai
out over the
penggantinya
sea, and sing your
penggantinya
heart out.
Gio Dedi.
And this bonfire,
Terus
it's
temen
perfect for
gue
roasting
bilang,
lavender melons.
apanya yang Dedi
or the
anjir
ones with the
sifatnya
annoying little
kekanak-kanakan
floating
gitu, ngerebut permen dari
these
bocah
boxes,
gara-gara
plenty of
dia
space,
merasa
whether you
menang
wanna play
abis ngadu
genius,
kumbang apa segala
invocation,
macem.
TCG, or battle some beetles.
Mana sisi Dedinya coba. Ya, terus pas udah masuk ke story-nya bener juga aja. Terus juga berantem di mading lah sama Sarah. Ya Allah.
Here, feast
Kocak
your
banget.
eyes on this. Just between you and me, this little treasure was sourced through a top-secret
Cuman
channel.
kan kasihan
They said
atau
it's a
ada balas
prized hand
budi
drum
gitu,
that once
nggak tahu
belonged
itu
to a
jelas.
renowned Onmyoji,
Masuk
and it's
akal
worth
sih.
8
Tapi lebih masuk
million
akal karena dia kan nggak mau
mora.
kalau nggak salah di
Thanks to my
story
strapping
Arkon
good looks and the
dia
fact that the
cerita dia
vendor and I
mau
kind of had
jadi
a
Miko kan,
connection. Her
nggak mau
words,
kerja
not
di
mine. She
shrine.
gave me a generous discount and only asked for 800,000
Tapi kalau gue jadi
mora.
Shinobu mending gue bikin geng sendiri daripada join geng Arataki.
Just like that? Sounds
Dari jauh
suspiciously like a scam to Paimon.
Duh. Oldest trick in the book, right? Which is why it didn't work on me. I spotted the damage on the edge right away. Practically screamed, "Defective product alert!" Ooh, we have a connection. Give me a break. So I haggled hard and took her down
Kalau
to 80
ininya
G's.
story udah selesai, gue udahan ya. Gue mau
Practically a
sholat.
steal.
Capek juga. Main berapa jam nih? 2 jaman ya?
More specifically, daylight robbery.
Mungkin besok-besok deh sambil ngerjain yang lain deh.
Still, it's pretty impressive that you
Gak
can
sehat
actually
main game
afford
mulu.
something worth 80,000 mora. Good for you, bullchucker.
It's only 80,000 mora. What do you take me for?
I put in 20 grand.
Me
Nyumbang.
too.
Dari temennya.
Huh? Boss, how come I had to pay 30 grand?
20 grand plus 20 grand plus 30.
70.
You really are a bullchucker.
Magic.
You extorted 80 grand from your gang members and didn't pay a single mora yourself.
You might want to check your mathematics there. I
Iya
paid
nih,
my
jangan
share.
banting
You know,
monitor terus.
I paid the
Iya
last
nih
10
gimana
grand.
dong? Tapi kerjaan gue di
Alright,
depan
good chat,
monitor.
but, we should wrap things up.
Abis main game
Getting late. I should go
ngegambar,
rendezvous with
nge-digital
Shinobu.
drawing gimana dong?
The festival's just getting started. We need to keep
Tapi
plugging
sekarang
it
udah
to get a
mulai
bigger
berkurang sih,
crowd.
udah males
Take care of the hand drum,
gambar
alright?
digital.
Oh, and if you want to try out the drum along at any
Capek.
point,
Maksudnya
Genshin's
masih
your guy.
suka sih, cuman kayak pengen nyoba media
Laters,
lain
compadre.
kayak watercolor atau alkohol marker. Capek ngeliat layar terus sumpah. Jadi kadang jadi beban juga sih. Malah yang awalnya pengen main komputer karena pengen refreshing, lama-lama kayak jadi beban tersendiri. Phew, jadi curhat nih saya.
I'm Genta, the Arataki Drum Along Festival Welcome Ambassador. Are you ready for your... Oh, I almost forgot. There's something that Boss forgot to mention to you about this hand drum. Since none of us really know if it's in tune or not, please
Ya
test it
kalau
out first.
kerja beda cerita.
That way, it'll sound better
Bukan
when you
kerja
deliver
sih,
your
gue
final
belum kerja.
performance.
Cuman doain aja lah.
Come on,
Semoga ini
try.
jadi di masa depan ini sebagai pekerjaan gue aja sih. Ngegambar. Anjay, Osu. Salah. Gila ntar bikin map Osu anjir. Ini apa nih? Hah, nilai kalibrasi tuh apa? Apa sih maksudnya ini? Kalibrasi, ntar gue nggak bisa baca. Oh, buat apa? Ngelambatinnya doang. Di sini aja. Amin, moga terbaik. Amin. Doakan saya ya teman. Semoga saya bisa mendapat pekerjaan yang lebih baik. Ini apa nih? Iyo, imianya lucu banget. Lucu banget. Pengen main tapi gue mau sholat. Besok aja deh. Gak bisa. Udah komit. Mau mainnya besok. Oke.
Sooner die again than lay a hand
Yaudah
on
deh Rizky, gue udahan dulu ya. Makasih udah nemenin ngobrol di chat. Kapan-kapan kali aja kita bisa co-op bareng. Asik. Deh ya, gue udahan dulu ya. Thank you udah mau nemenin. Bye. Cabut dulu, bye-bye. Ntar lu. Kayak gue perlu mengecek sesuatu deh sebelum gue pergi. Bentar. Bye. Tapi gue mau ngecek sesuatu, kayak gue nggak tenang kalau nggak ngecek dulu. Sabar ya. Lu cabut duluan nggak apa-apa kok. Mau cuman, aman. Gue yang paling nggak mau tumpah-tumpah poin tipot soalnya.
This realm is truly
Oke, aman. Sip, bye Rizky. Cabut ya.